victim of police brutality. Money does not excuse that.
And that is true. You can be a victim of police brutality at any level within society.
Right.
You know?
So,
And
so what was
but the thing
in
is,
your opinion, because you started out the conversation by saying
I think
hold on, hang on. You said he should have done it a different way, and it would have got more attention. Elaborate on that.
if he would have took when he took the knee the one time, the first time, and at the end of it, if he would have said, "Okay, look, I did this to get everybody's attention. I still support America, but here's what I want to bring attention to." If he would have talked to the people and said, "This is what I want to do," but instead of getting out and talking to people and actually doing anything, because I've not seen Kaepernick put any money of his own up to try to bring about any kind of change whatsoever.
Okay.
You just have another star talking, saying, "Hey, we should protest this. We should protest this," but they're not doing anything themselves.
But here is the problem. What you said Colin Kaepernick should do, and that would be the right way to do it, LeBron James did exactly that, and they criticized the hell out of him as well. Laura Ingraham of Fox News said he should just shut up and dribble. He did exactly what you said. Never took a knee or any of that. Did exactly what you said, and they treated him like shit too. So I don't get what you're saying having validity.
With LeBron, with LeBron James, I did not catch much of that. And if Laura Ingraham said that, then she was completely dead wrong to say it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And she's not the
I
only one, by the way. She's not the only person on the right that has complained about LeBron James or any of those players that have spoken out about, whether it's racism or police brutality, and they did not take a knee. They still get criticized like crazy. Think about it. We consider right now, Martin Luther King, we consider him as protesting the right way. Nobody gave a damn about that. They were against him too. There is no right way to protest police brutality or racism. No matter how you do it, people are going to be pissed off. There is not a single person in U.S. history that protested this and people said you're doing it the right way. They had a problem with every one of them.
And you're playing devil's advocate, and you're right. There's always going to be somebody that has a problem with it.
Right.
Okay? But for Kaepernick to come out and say, one of the things he actually said was, the Betsy Ross flag is racist. The Betsy Ross flag was made just simply to represent the 13 colonies of America against England.
Okay. I can't speak
he
in.
called the flag racist.
Okay. I understand your point. I can't speak on it because I'll tell you this. I don't know if the flag is racist or not, but I do know in this country we have never been honest about what actually is racist. I mean, I got people telling me Aunt Jemima is a term of endearment. I got folks that say, the anthem doesn't have anything about slavery in it. The Confederates love black people. I don't know where to go with this stuff, country, because people aren't being honest about it. Is the Betsy Ross flag racist? I don't know. All I know is the founding fathers were not honest from day one. So I don't know what is. I'll give you the last word.
I agree with you there. I don't know anybody in government that's ever been honest. 100%. It has both sides of the aisle.
Right.
As for Aunt Jemima, I've looked the history up on her, and I tell you what, it burns me up that they removed her. It burns me up.
If you look at, I'm gonna just say this.
Look at what she did. She was a great person. She really was.
Why not? Her name was Nancy Parker. To this day, and I've been around a hell of a lot of black people in my life, I don't know a single black person named Jemima. Where the hell did that come from?
I'm guessing that probably came from
racism. It came from racism. That shit is racist as hell. I'm not sure, 100% sure
where she came from. But I'm betting if you follow her roots, it probably leads back to Jamaica.
Well, her name is Nancy Parker. And I will tell you this before I let you go. I would implore you, go online and look at the original artwork of Aunt Jemima products. And you tell me that the pictures on the front of there, how they made her look like a monkey and all of that shit, you're going to tell me in that era that was the best artist they could find? She looks like a damn ape. Go look at it and you come back and tell me that there was no racism involved in that.
I have seen that stuff, and I tell you, you want to talk about seeing racism alive, and if you want to know how racism and how much it has actually truly died off in America.
That ain't what we talking about. We talking about Aunt Jemima. We talking about Aunt Jemima. We're not talking about racism dying off.
I'm going to tie it in. I'm going to tie it in here. But how much it has died off. If you simply watch the Bugs Bunny cartoons, any cartoons from the 1920s and 30s and 40s versus cartoons today, you'll see a huge change.
Yeah.
Okay. Huge change.
What you gotta keep in mind, folks like you and me that grew up in the 70s and 80s were actually watching that racist shit, did not know it was racist, and therefore were being indoctrinated and brainwashed to think that was normal. That was what was being shown to You talk about the LGBT community shoving things down kids' throats. They were literally shoving racism down the throats of children. I do got to move it on. And by the way, that's still on the television. Real quick.
I mean, and you're right. And as for the LGBTQ, it's only a small percentage, very small percentage of them that really is causing the problems for all of them.
Okay. All right.
I'll sit around.
Appreciate it, Country Hound Dog. When we talk, it's amazing other things come to mind. But anyway, we were not even talking about that topic. But he certainly did remind me of a few things, because we do talk about the LGBT community being harmful to children. You don't want their books and things like that shown and displayed in schools and places of educational places and things like that. And as he pointed out, a large portion of the Warner Brothers cartoons like Bugs Bunny and things he's mentioning, even he, who was completely resistant to my point of view, admits there was a hell of a lot of racism. A lot of that stuff's still on television. A lot of that stuff is still on television, and I've never heard anybody suggest that cartoons were shoving racism down the throats of children, and we all know they were. So I do believe, and I've said this before with the anthem, Christianity in schools, all of this stuff, that we are actually okay shoving things down the throats of children when it's something we favor. Because I always bring up, you're putting your hand on your heart and saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. You're saying that in first and second grade. How many first graders know what it means to pledge allegiance to a nation? You're shoving patriotism down their throats. We just believe it's okay to do that. Just like the cartoons were shoving racism down their throats. You want to put Christianity in schools, you're shoving Christianity down their throats. They should have to wait till they're 18 to decide if they want gender assigning surgery or any of these other crucial changes to life. Why can't they wait till they're 18 to decide what religion they want to be a part of? Is that not okay? So we are totally okay with shoving things down the throats of children when it suits our needs. Just think about that for a minute. Anyway, going back to the box, got a pic already at the comment section, got a pic of a onesie that says, come and take it. Yeah, that's shoving the love of firearms. A onesie on a toddler that says, come and take it. Wow. I would buy something like that though, but it is shoving the Second Amendment down the throats of children. I think it's kind of cute, but it is doing it. A nation that enslaved and slaughtered indigenous people, says Aunt Knox EL on YouTube. And by the way, folks, I do apologize for the temporary halt in the program. I did have a call come in, and it was long enough that I had to restart everything. So, by the way, tap the screen so we can get the likes up. 400 plus of you in here. It also helps out the algorithm. Program will remain MAGA friendly. Going back to the box, but I certainly want you to tap the screen, get the likes up to around 20,000 on TikTok. Smash that like button on YouTube. You know how the program is. It is uncensored all day, every day. Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central is when we're here, because Democrats are the ones that try to push for these changes to make things more inclusive or supposedly less racist, when they are the engineers of everything racist throughout history. There's some validity to that statement. Marcus Stanley. Democrats are the ones that try to push for these changes to make things more inclusive or supposedly less racist, when they are the engineers of everything racist throughout history. There's about a good 80% validity. Now, I will say, the fact is, when Democrats were the most racist, it's not like the Republicans were really fighting back. Other than the Civil War, once that was over with, the Republican Party wasn't fighting on behalf of minorities. So I'll give it an 80% check. But fact is, even though the Democrats engineered it, and he's admitting they want to make changes and make things more inclusive, perhaps the Democrats realize the error of their ways and they're wanting to change things. Who is fighting against inclusivity, if I can pronounce that right? Who's fighting against that now? It damn sure ain't the Democrats. So the Democrats were racist. Think Joe Biden, crime bill maybe. And now look at Joe Biden. Sometimes folks realize the error of their ways and they want to change and make amends. Maybe the Democratic Party represents that. And that's what Marcus Stanley stated on YouTube. Going back to the box, Stick Darula, one of my team members. I always appreciate you folks, team members and all of that good stuff. Certainly noticed that. Stick Darula, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Handsome. How you doing today?
I'm in the trenches on the first call, man.
Well, yeah, he was kind of out there with that, but like you say, free speech. So he said it, and he got his reactions that were normal to what he said.
Yeah.
So
well, speaking of free speech, now these protests, these pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas in many cases, these protests that are taking place all over the country, some of them getting out of hand. Do you think Biden is responsible for any of this, at least in part?
No, I don't think Biden has anything to do with it. The only people that has anything to do with it is the people that actually don't have anything to do with it and are agitators and are getting in there and just doing stuff that the actual protesters aren't doing. Now, are you going to have a couple of protesters that are going to do some stupid things? Of course. I mean, everybody. It doesn't matter what you're protesting, whether it's January 6th, right? Whether it's they like to say Black Lives Matter, whether it's the Triple K. It doesn't really matter. Somebody's going to do something stupid. It is what it is.
So why do you think so many people? So why do you think so many people are indeed? Because I get folks while you and I are talking saying that Biden is partially responsible for it.
No, I wouldn't say Biden's partially responsible. I would just say I believe that when everything first happened, number one, Biden wasn't here. But as far as the 7th of, was it February or
October? You mean when they went into Israel?
Okay, yeah, October, yeah. Okay, so in October, I couldn't remember exactly which month it was, but in October, the 7th, I knew the actual date.
Right.
But as far as when it goes with that, I believe when it first happened, a lot of us, including Americans, looked at it as a act like 9/11. And we felt some type of way. So
it was actually bigger. It was actually bigger than 9/11 when you factor in the population of Israel. I mean, they lost over 1,000 people. We lost like 3,000 on 9/11, and we got way more people in our country. So I think they estimated that what happened on October 7th was equivalent to about 10 September 11s happening.
And I get that. And so again, I just believe that Biden overspoke. He went to talking about I'm a Zionist, and I back Israel 100%. And he had to stick his foot in his mouth and tell Bibi hey, slow down, slow your roll. You
Did he say I know more about Zionism than anybody else? Sound familiar?
Yeah, see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, he stuck his foot in his mouth, but the difference between one person and the other is they know how to come back and say, hey, hold on, I made a mistake. Let's relook at this. You was just talking about as far as the 94 crime bill and everything like that. He's turned over a leaf that it's undeniable.
Yeah.
It's not one of those I have to think about it or I have to go do research. No, it's in my face. I see it.
Yeah.
Just like
Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you real quick. Let me interrupt you real quick. I'll let you continue. But in the comments, folks are saying don't compare anything to 9/11 and questioning my comment that October 7th was 10 9/11s. Yeah, it actually was. I mean, the population of Israel is a fraction of what America. How many folks are here in this country? It's like 350 million people in this country. I don't think Israel has even 20 million, if I'm correct. They lost 1,000 people. We lost 3,000.
And I get that. Exactly. One life isn't more than the other. I get what you're saying as far as land mass and as far as how many people is.
I'm talking about in terms of percentage of their population. They lost a hell of a lot more people than we did.
Listen what I'm saying. I get it. But you can't tell an American soul from a Israeli soul or even a Palestine soul. They're all one person, and they're all to be counted the same as far as they have families that miss them. They have families that are grieving. And this is the part that it seems like everybody's overlooking. And I'm talking about for the Israel people too. I'm not just talking about for Palestine. I'm talking about for the Israel people too. Right. Everybody's missing somebody. You know, you get what I'm saying? Everybody's families are affected. So when we get past the my people belong here, your people don't, and we made a deal back in the 40s that we were supposed to move here, but I know we took more land than we were supposed to. Like, it's a lot of stuff to it. But I choose to stay out of that part. Now, if we're going to talk about what's going on here in America, as far as with these college students, the main thing that they got to understand too, you're taking away somebody's ability to learn by you coming on campus, and their parents are paying hellified money if they're not on scholarship. And even if they're on scholarship, the taxpayers are paying hella cash to get these people through school and make sure that they have a decent career.
But I will say this though, when you factor in exactly what you're talking about how much money these folks are paying for their kids to go to these damn schools, they should have better security. They should be able to break this stuff up and do a better job securing those students as well. I mean, you're charging people thousands and thousands of dollars to be there. Damn it, hire a few extra cops. I mean, they should be able to squelch this a little bit better. The problem is folks who are not going to that school are showing up at these protests.
Yeah, and that's what I said before. It's the outsiders more than the students. Yeah. But at the same time, this is just being real, Tim. When you go to a neighborhood, and we call it the hood, right? You're gonna see, like let's just say Compton in the 80s. You're gonna see police riding up and down the street patrolling.
Right.
At the same time in the 80s, a couple of miles away, they have a place called Hollywood and Bel Air and all these other different places. You ain't seeing them cops riding and patrolling. You know why? Because they look at it as this is not a high crime neighborhood.
Right.
We don't need to patrol it. So again, this is the campus. They have the campus police. It's a lot of you could say high dignitaries and people of importance, children that go there. They're not going to have a big time security and police force.
Yeah, but how long does it take to hire a decent force if something really kick out? I mean, there's plenty of security outfits. You need to hire somebody. This is getting out of hand. I mean, you don't just sit back and say we weren't prepared.
Well, they weren't prepared because, again, that's the mind state they have. And then on top of that, they called in the NYC, right. I mean, the New York City police. So they called them in, but it all boils down to, again, these are privileged kids, regardless of what background they come from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I seen the girl
they
talking about
don't
you.
want
You
those
should.
privileged kids.
Yeah, I seen the girl talking about you should
Yeah.
feed us while we're doing this. Yeah, they very
See what I'm saying?
privileged.
So they're privileged kids, and they don't. They're kind of like Donald Trump. They don't know where the line ends and begins.
A
They
good
feel like
tie-in.
they can do what the hell they want to do, and that's what they're doing. Instead of them, well, you got one campus with tents, and then you got the other campus that went inside and took over a building.
Yeah. Well,
You know why?
they did finally go in there. They've been charged with trespassing and burglary. They didn't do any time, but they now officially have a criminal record. But Stick, I do got to move it on. Appreciate you coming in as always. Thank you.
Sound like somebody I know.
Burglary?
No, Donald Trump. He's now a criminal because of the contempt. That's criminal contempt.
Oh.
Now he's a criminal.
What? Did they put contempt? They put contempt on your permanent record?
Yes, they do.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they do.
Wow.
You got to look at it this way. Now, let's just say he wants to get a bond. He's already been found in contempt in the sense of, like, when they say contempt of court, they don't know if that's you missing a court date or you just got fined. A contempt is an actual charge. Now he is a criminal.
I didn't know that. I got to look that up. Some folks in the audience are disagreeing with you. I got to look it up. I didn't know that.
Nah, look. Tell them right now it's all hot on fire on all the news sources, including Fox.
All right.
I know they watch Fox and CNN.
Yeah, you damn right. Appreciate it, Stick. Good talk.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
I didn't know that. They put contempt of court on your criminal record. I thought that was just an admonishment by the judge. I didn't know that it actually goes down 3-4 years later. You can be, they can bring up that you once were held in contempt. Some folks are saying no. Some folks are saying yes. Maybe it's something that, as Trump often says, is left up to the states. You best believe if New York can mark up Trump's record, they gonna sure as hell do it. So I don't know. I'd have to see. But moving on with the program, what we're talking about today is whether you feel Biden is responsible for all of these protests, Israel, Hamas, Palestine protests that are happening nationwide. Is he responsible, at least in part? And by the way, Trump's statement, stop the protests now, which is what he got on Truth Social and tweeted out. Stop the protests now. Is he suggesting government basically eliminate the First Amendment rights of students? Do you think Trump, if he was president, would eliminate or violate, at the very least, violate their First Amendment rights? Because that is what the First Amendment grants us the right to do. Freedom of the press, the right to assemble, free speech, that is all in there. So if he's saying stop the protest, that is a direct contradiction to the First Amendment. So looking in the comments, Charlie Tone Deaf says, yeah, because he is no better than Biden. Wow. Isaac says he would have sent the National Guard immediately. Yeah, and that, if you send the National Guard to observe and to be there to provide security, that's not violating the First Amendment. But if they actually stop the protest, then it enters in that realm. Trump is going to take away everyone's rights, says Gerard. You think MAGA is fearful of Trump taking away their rights? I don't know. We talked about on yesterday's show, and I'll go back to the box, Trump suggesting that this country has developed an anti-white sentiment where they're being biased against white people. I think if you're white, you don't have to worry about Trump taking away your rights. He sounds like he thinks that's happening to you now, and he's going to fix it. So I don't think that Trump is going to take away rights. Florida banned protests a couple years ago. Did it get challenged? I don't know. How can you stop protests? I'd have to see how that went down. Anyway, going back to the box, we'll go to Daddy Pooh. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Do you think that Biden is responsible for these protests? Good afternoon. I don't know if he got a call. We'll give him a second. How can you stop protests? Laughing my ass off. What? Well, you can stop them by just arresting everybody that's there. Get on the bullhorn and tell them either you go home or you'll be arrested. You can stop it. Don't mean it's constitutionally accurate, but you can stop it. Daddy Pooh, good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So do you blame Biden for the protests at all?
I don't think directly. I mean, I think that the attitude of the party is allowing it to fester, which has made it worse. But I don't know that he is directly responsible for it.
Yeah. What do you mean by the attitude of the party? Explain that.
Well, I think that the left puts up with that stuff and allows that to happen. And instead of shutting down, like one of the schools here, Pomona, they went into the president's office, and she said you have 10 minutes to be gone, and if you're not gone, you're suspended from school. And she did it. And she could call the police to have people arrested. So I feel like by them letting people, it's just kind of like back when the stuff was happening, like in Seattle, created a safe place.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, they're afraid to go in. They're not letting people go in. And then there's, people getting killed.
So you believe that the Democratic Party's attitude incentivizes them to act in a lawless manner to some degree. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely.
So how do you feel? I have to bring it up. After what happened on January 6th with those protesters, Trump is speaking favorably of them, doing songs with them, offering to pardon them. Do you think his attitude is in favor of them in a similar manner?
I think that everybody has their side that they lean towards, and so I think they have blinders. Everyone has blinders, and so I think that if I talk to my dad, he thinks January 6th is the worst thing that ever happened, and I think that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Do you think Ashley Babbitt's family would agree with you?
Well, I think I think it was pretty bad for her, but not. I do think it was bad for her, and I think that they shouldn't have gone in there. I think it was, I don't think what happened that day was a good thing by any means, but it certainly wasn't an insurrection, because those are the most armed people in this country, and nobody came with guns. So it may be the first unarmed, insurrection in history.
How do you know, though? How do you know they didn't come with guns?
How do they know?
No one was patted down.
Had guns, but nobody arrested had guns. I mean, was there no guns in the entire crowd? I'm sure there was some guns, but people didn't have guns. All those people that got arrested didn't have guns.
Who got arrested on January 6th?
Well, there was a few that got arrested.
Yeah, but how many people participated or even went into the Capitol building and did not get arrested? When you say people got arrested, was it even 5%?
Well, okay, let's just say this. If they were going to do insurrection, they're not coming with concealed, 9mm.
How do you know?
Because that's not how you do insurrection.
Yeah, but if you show up...
Like the government with...
Yeah, but if you show up with long rifles and obvious weapons, they're going to call in the cavalry. They would have never made it to the Capitol building if they had showed up with weapons in plain sight.
Oh, I don't know about that, but...
You think they would have still made it?
I think a lot of steps were made to make it able to happen so that it would look as bad as it did.
Yeah, I gotta say that if they showed up with weapons in plain sight, like you're insinuating, there would have been some shooting and people would have gotten killed. I do believe that the government would have stepped up what they did. I mean, we can entertain whether it was an insurrection or not, but the idea that there were no weapons there, I'm going to say there's no way to know. Nobody was patted down or searched.
Well, I'm not saying there was no weapons, but there was. If people were coming there for an insurrection, they did not come prepared like they would be coming prepared for an insurrection.
Yeah. Well, and I want to say this. On YouTube, for instance, Mario Mano says nobody is making a case to excuse violent January 6th protesters. Do you believe that?
No. I think that anybody that was doing violence that day, should be held accountable for the violence that they did.
Well, Trump says it was. Trump says January 6th was a good day. Has he referred to anyone there that day as doing anything of violence, committing an act of violence? Has he mentioned anyone there that day in reference to they were violent?
I don't know. He says a lot of stupid shit though.
Yeah. He said it was a good
So, I
day.
mean,
He said it was a good day.
yeah, well, it certainly wasn't a good day. And if anything, it was a really bad day for him because if January 6th wouldn't have happened, this current election wouldn't even be close.
Yeah. He's doing songs with the people that are in jail. So when I asked that question, is anybody making an excuse for violent protesters? In my opinion, it's hard to say that Trump's seen anyone qualifying as a violent protester. He hasn't called anybody violent. He has said nothing but favorable things about what happened that day.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, I don't think anything was positive about that day.
He is. He said it was a great day. He is positive about it.
Well, like I said, he says stupid shit every day.
Yeah. He's talked about pardoning him and everything.
Yeah.
He hasn't said one negative thing about January 6th.
And I'm sure he will pardon him. I can guarantee if he gets elected, he pardons him. There's no doubt.
Yeah, so the idea that Trump has never said anything to excuse them, he's never even held them accountable for it. He's spoken positively of it.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Okay, fair enough. So what do you think? So you don't think that Biden is directly responsible for this, but when Trump says stop the protest now, you don't think that he's trying to take away people's first?
I think at this point that they need to be stopped. They need to be stopped. I mean, you can protest. There's a difference between protesting and stopping people from getting on the camp. I mean, the second, it's just like when you get on the freeway. If you get on the freeway and you close the freeway down, I just assume telling people they can run you over. You play dumb games, you get the dumb prices. But if you want to stand on the corner and protest, by all means protest. But you can't keep people from going among their day, telling people they can't enter a campus when you're not security. They don't even have right to be there. How do you have right to tell people who they can and can't be there?
But let me make sure I get clarity on this. And I do believe a lot of folks say what I think you just said, and I think they may have even passed laws, but let me make sure I heard you clearly. If protesters are blocking the way, like blocking a street or a highway, you're saying it's okay to run them over?
100%.
Wanted to make sure I heard you. All right. I got to move it on, Daddy. Appreciate you coming through. Wow, that's pretty harsh, man. That's pretty. Would you do that if you're trying to get home to your family for dinner? It wasn't nothing major. Would you be okay running?
Well, I'm not gonna just run somebody over just because they're standing there. But the second that they decide they're gonna surround my car and put me in fear,
okay,
then
that's different.
Then absolutely, I'm gonna run them right over or pull out something that's in my on my side.
And that's
I'm gonna survive the day.
Right, but now I agree with that part. You're adding things. Now you're saying my life is in danger and things like that. But let's say you're driving down the highway and there's this long ass traffic jam and you can't turn around, and you see it's because a bunch of people are walking across the highway with signs and things like that. So your only choice is to either run them over or sit there until things clear up. Well, unfortunately, my caller was taken off, and he didn't say anything, in my opinion. Well, maybe he did. Let me stop it. But you are welcome back to the program. Somebody must have did not like what he had to say. You're welcome back to the program anytime. You know how it works. Handsome, that was Daddy Pooh, because I see in the comments, I was forgetting his name, but Red said, stop calling that man Daddy. That's his name. Folks call me handsome all the time, and then in the comments they're telling me how ugly I look. Who gives a damn? It's the name on the page, so we go by it. Looking in the comments real quick. Typical MAGA, ignoring anyone with opposite views, says Michael Beeston. Okay, all right, we'll talk about it. Real quick in the comments, be lied to about January 6th is also stupid. I don't know, Skeeter on YouTube. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get the likes of, I believe there's around 500 plus of you in here. We can certainly get up to around 30,000 if you show the program some love, helps out the algorithm. We are MAGA friendly, always will remain that way. And on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. This is civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle. So understand you may hear opinions you totally agree with or think are bullshit. We allow everybody to speak. And that would include you too, when you are stating your point of view. Everyone gets to speak. Skeeter said being lied to about January 6th is also stupid. Depends on what side of the aisle you're on. I mean, because I think everybody is being a little bit dishonest about it. I mean, we just had MAGA on a minute ago, and even he admits that someone telling you that January 6th was a good day or a love fest is not accurate. So everybody's being dishonest about it. Going back to the box, we'll continue it on with Gomez. Good afternoon, Gomez. Welcome to the program. Who cares about January 6th? I don't know. Maybe the Babbitt family might have some concerns. Gomez, good afternoon. Gomez, are you there? Okay. All right. I don't know what that was. We'll keep it moving. Hey, Tim, Nicky Boy, checking in. Good afternoon, Nicky Boy. Absolutely a friend of the show. Always appreciate you. Thank you for all you've done. Moving back, continuing on with Ultra MAGA Cultist. Now, that obviously is a sarcastic name, but we'll bring him on. Ultra MAGA Cultist. So that sounds like just the opposite. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
How's it going?
Going good. Ultra MAGA Cultist. Explain that.
Yeah, I'm sort of just like playing into the buzzwords you hear from the left. Like, yeah, sure, I'll wear it. I am an ultra MAGA cultist. Like,
okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, okay, all right. So what do you think? Do you think Biden is responsible for these protests breaking out everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. He's the guy that's unilaterally backing the state of Israel that allows them to carry out the thing that everyone's protesting. I mean, you hear the kids on the campus. They say it best. The word on here, G-Side Joe. G-Side Joe, referring to.
Wow. So,
the ethnic cleansing that's going on over there.
So if you said Biden is unilaterally backing Israel, if Trump was president, what do you think Trump would do? Would he no longer back Israel and just leave them to their own devices? Or what do you think his stance would be?
That's an interesting one, because if it was the first year with Kushner in office and the administration he had then, I'd say, yeah, it's definitely Biden's the guy you want in now, because, well, at least pertaining to the Israel thing, like Biden's the guy, because Trump would have gave them everything they want. But now, after the election thing, I don't think he liked how Bibi handled the 2020 election.
What does Bibi got to do with our election?
He made some comments on it. I know you can't go too much into it, but he was congratulated Biden when Trump still.
Wait. You think Trump is? Does that not sound petty to you? You think because Netanyahu congratulated Biden for winning the election, Trump would leave them on a lurch during a war? Where people can die just because he didn't congratulate Trump? I mean, is that not petty or what?
That's what I'd like to hope, but, I do think, like, if I had to guess, I think he'd probably support Israel. But his comments yesterday in the Time magazine with, where he said, fuck Bibi Netanyahu, he's responsible for October 7th. Like, that's some pretty strong comments you'll never hear anyone from the Biden administration make.
Wait, I didn't hear that. Wait, let me make sure I hear that again. You're saying Trump blamed Netanyahu for what happened on October 7th to his own country?
Absolutely, he said, because Israel had the intel, they had the plans, they had videos of them training, and these are the most paranoid people in the world with the best technology in the world. Like, you shoot 500 rockets at them in an hour, they go 99% shoot down. A cockroach flies over that wall, they know. Why did it take 7 hours and the first people to respond were like old veterans on motorcycles with their leather jackets. Like, you can get an Apache in the air to anywhere in Israel in 15 minutes, yet they let the thing go on and on and on because, Bibi was on the ropes there. There was mass protests in Israel in early September calling for him to be removed.
Yeah, sometimes even, I mean, look what happened to us on September 11th. Even sometimes the most powerful nations can get caught slipping. I mean, the UK has had their version of September 11th. I mean, if people are trying hard enough, not to mention these countries tend to have a certain level of freedom that allows anybody in. So, I mean, if people are trying hard enough, I don't care how powerful you are, These are acts where the perpetrators do not even care if they die in the process. I say it all the time. You could rob any bank you wanted if you didn't care about getting caught. So eventually somebody's going to get through.
But you have to look at who is gaining or who stands to gain from these events. October 7th played up for no one better than Bibi Netanyahu. He can now go and do whatever the hell he wants in Gaza because there's an excuse. And he even said after the Iran attack, he's like, we expect our brothers and allies to fight with us in this Iran conflict because we're dealing with a conflict on the northern border with Hezbollah too. They go, it's okay. America's going to fight Iran for us. And it's like, whoa. Like, we know you want that. We know the Israelis want Iran.
Here's the issue I have. I don't know if I understand your point about October 7th may have given them some benefits, just like September 11th allowed us to go in countries and do things behind the scenes. I'm sure Halliburton made a fortune. I'm sure they're really happy about September 11th. But at the end of the day, most likely, in my opinion, there's going to be Jewish people next generation or two that's going to pay a hell of a price for this, because what they're doing now, they are creating a hell of a lot more terrorists. And it's not just Hamas. They're pissing off people worldwide. Hell, look what's going on in our country. We may end up having a domestic terrorist event because folks in this country are pissed off that we're helping them.
Yeah, that makes you think. I mean, who would benefit more? Like, who would benefit most from a terrorist attack in America? Shit. You know, it's Israel. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if they would. I mean, did they benefit from September 11th?
Oh, yeah. September 11th. You should read the Clean Break memo. It's called "Securing the Realm of Israel." It was written in 1996. It said this document pretty much outlined what does Israel have to accomplish to secure the realm, the border. It was a very barbaric area. So in this document written in 1996, mind you, by Israelis, it said we're going to have to destabilize Syria, destabilize Iraq, have a ground invasion in Lebanon. And it listed a whole bunch of other things, but it pretty much went down the list of everything the American government did to a T. Yeah. And the two guys that wrote the fucking thing ended up working for Bush in the State Department. They were his two guys in his administration. The paper was drafted by Bibi Netanyahu. That's all you pretty much need to know about 9/11. And they were seen dancing when the towers went down. So I was like, I don't know.
Wait. Who was seen dancing when the towers went down?
They were dancing in New Jersey. The urban moving. You should look up the dancing Israelis. They were held for 41 days in FBI custody, pulled over on the turnpike. As soon as the cop pulled them over, they were found with explosive residue. They said, "Don't worry."
Well, listen, I can't blame an entire group of people for. I mean, just like we had Black Lives Matter, some of them, fry them in the bacon. What was it? Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. That doesn't mean the whole outfit believes you should take out cops. If there were some Israelis that were happy about what happened on September 11th, that don't mean the whole damn nation feels that way. You can find idiots that support any damn thing. You had a few idiots a couple years ago that wanted to hang the vice president. That doesn't mean everybody is like that.
True, but the issue with these dancers is that they showed up to the tower to watch and record the incident before it happened. They had prior knowledge, and they admitted to having prior knowledge.
Okay,
that's the issue. They get pulled over by the police in New Jersey. What do they say to the state trooper? They could be getting pulled over for a fucking taillight for all they know. Their hands are up. "Sorry, sir, your issue's not with us, it's with Palestine." What the fuck? They had $5,000 in socks. They had explosive residue, maps of the World Trade Center, and 160
I gotta say that a lot of that falls under the title of conspiracy. I've never heard of most of the stuff you're talking about.
Conspiracy.
So if they did all of that,
what if I sent you an ABC News article reporting on it? It was buried by our Central Intelligence.
Yeah, but wouldn't
agency for 50 years?
Then if they did all of that, why was Trump so friendly to Israel?
Because he's a real estate mobster and $100 million in debt.
So Trump was willing to sell out this country to make a few bucks in real estate.
I mean, when it comes to his,
you can say yes or no.
I'd say it's
You can say yes or no.
Well, I think it's a lot more deep than that. When it comes to being the president in America, you got to play ball with these people. It's not like you think I'm going to go up there and win a presidency?
Hold on. What happened to we don't negotiate with terrorists? Now you're saying if I can make a few bucks for my business, because we want, America wants a businessman to run the country. If we can make a few bucks for my business, I'm willing to deal with some pretty evil folks. Trump was supposed to be the anti-version of that. You're telling me he was a specialist at it.
Well, here's the thing. You're working backwards here. He started out as a real estate mogul. Donald Trump would have never been Donald Trump if it wasn't for his real estate, correct? Would we know who he was if it wasn't for his real estate?
Yeah, but you're telling me that they had direct involvement with what happened on September 11th, and he was okay with being close to them because he was making money out of the country. That sounds very swamp-like to me.
I don't even know if Trump might not even know. He may still think it was Osama.
That ain't what you just said. Now you're drifting away from your original statement.
No, I never said Trump had inside knowledge of who did 9/11. He probably knows if I had to guess, but I don't know what's in his head.
So even when you say he probably knows, you're admitting that he is a swamp creature.
Well, yeah, when you're dealing with the Italian mob, who we know is mobbed up with Israel, you just got to play these games. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, we live in a disgusting world, and it's controlled by people who aren't loyal to our own country. It is what it is. It sucks, but that's the nature of the game, and it is what it is.
So, so potentially, I know you don't care for Biden. That's fine. A lot of legitimate reasons not to, but based on what you're saying, is it safe to say you don't believe Trump should be running this nation? He sounds crooked as hell.
I mean, that's, if you're first coming across that stuff and you learn this stuff, that would be the rational decision you have.
I'm asking you, do you think, based on what you're saying, based on what you're saying, do you believe this guy who is as crooked as you just painted should be running this nation?
I'm going to say yes, and the answer is because when you pull back the pages on everybody else who's a State Department shill, Obama, all these people have been infiltrated much worse than Trump ever could be. Because imagine you have no money now, and now these people, they give you money and you owe them. I don't think Trump took any bribes. I think he was just, they allowed him to make money in that environment, which is the most, New York City real estate in the 80s. This is not like how it was today. These guys were literal.
So what did Obama do that's worse than what you're portraying that Trump was involved in?
Obama, actually, when it comes to the Israel issue, we'll give him a pass on that. But let's say any other establishment guy, DeSantis, let's look at the election now. So our choices are Biden, DeSantis, Haley, and even RFK. All these people are mobbed up with Israel way more than Trump ever could be.
But
Ron DeSantis, you can't even criticize them in their own state. You go to jail. First Amendment issue, perhaps.
It sounds like I'm hearing you say Obama 2024, even though he can't run. Sound like you're suggesting that Obama would probably be a better choice for this nation than Trump. All right.
That's a way of phrasing.
Say that again.
I'm not here shilling for Obama, but when it comes to the Israel issue, I think Trump is shaky on that, but he's not controlled to the point where he's like a Lindsey Graham or a Kevin McCarthy, where they obviously have blackmail of these people doing some disgusting things. And you have that's why Kevin McCarthy or Lindsey Graham, one day he's like, end the war in Ukraine. 2 days later, he's like, we have to go, you can't say it on here, but he's like, put a piece of metal in Vladimir Putin's head. That's what
you're sure making the Republican Party. You're sure making the Republican Party look pretty damn bad. But Ultra MAGA, I gotta move it on. I didn't expect you to go this way. Appreciate it though, man.
We're gonna change it and make it America first. The Republican Party is gonna sound like me in 20 years. No more of this neocon bullshit. This Israel first, America first. If you're Israeli first, go to Israel. That's all we gotta say.
All right, fair enough. Appreciate you coming through. Wow, he made Trump look like he is really swampy. According to him, It's just that the other guys are even more swampy than Trump, but he certainly portrayed Trump as pretty damn swampy. This dude's stark raving batshit crazy. He believes the earth is flat. I had to ask him last time he was on. That was a Gen Xer friend of the program on YouTube. Obama is telling Chomo Joe everything through an earpiece. All right. In other words, Biden is literally listening to everything he does from President Obama through an earpiece. The guy with dementia is actually within his faculties enough to take instructions through an earpiece. Is that how dementia works? Anyhow, moving the program on, we're asking that question. Do you think Biden is responsible, at least in part, to some of these to these protests going on all over America at our most elite institutions of higher learning, many of them being violent, many of them being anti-Semitic? Do you believe Biden is at least partially at fault? We had a secondary topic, and I will present this. By the way, continue tapping the screen to my TikTokers. 28, you guys are not participating on the tapping of the screen on TikTok. What the hell? My YouTubers feel free to smash that like button. Should be around 50,000 likes by now. You guys are hurting my feelings. We try to deliver uncensored content here. I was going to say good content, but I know a hell of a lot of you folks don't favor allowing the other side to speak. There's some liberals out here who don't want to hear shit from MAGA, and there's a hell of a lot of MAGA that are not interested in allowing a liberal to speak freely. We do it here with both sides. So this is a bit different. We don't favor anyone's free speech over someone else's. That's how uncensored programming works. So everybody does get to speak. Looking in the one of the other topics we did talk about is whether you feel, this is a smaller topic, but in regards to the Alvin Bragg case in New York, many believe it's a witch hunt. Many believe all of Trump's cases are a witch hunt for that matter. But we're asking is, do you think he actually might be guilty of paying off Stormy Daniels, using the funds coming from Michael Cohen, and then putting it down on his taxes as a business expense? Do you believe he actually did? Whether you think it's a crime or not, we can discuss that. But do you believe he actually did what they're accusing him of? Or do you believe they're making it all up out of thin air? That Stormy Daniels was never paid off. He never slept with her. He never instructed Michael Cohen to do a damn thing, and he never lied at all about something being a business expense on his taxes. Do you believe it is 100% made up? Looking in the comments, Trump is innocent as OJ. Megoro. Good to see you again, Megoro. Megoro used to be on the program. Good to see you in the comment section. Going back to the box, completely fabricated. What say you? Alvin Bragg, New York, completely fabricated case on President Trump. Dakari Kearney. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program, Dakari. Completely fabricated. Just made it up to go after Trump. What say you, Dakari?
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Doing good. Good to have you back on.
All right, my brother. Glad to see you. Yeah, what was your question about Trump again?
The Alvin Bragg case in New York, where they're suggesting that he paid off Stormy Daniels to prevent that from coming to light during this campaign, and it was done with the money, with funds from Michael Cohen. And I talked to Michael Cohen about this directly, and he said he used a home equity line, a revolving line of credit, to pay her off. And Trump, in terms of paying back Michael Cohen, wrote it down as a business expense, which is, basically defrauding fraud on the document, whether it's the tax department or whatever. Do you think all that's made up, that he didn't do that and they're just trying to railroad the guy?
No, of course, I don't think nobody's railroading Trump. I believe Trump.
Dakari, you got a weak signal or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't think anything is made up. I think Trump is guilty of sin. Cohen, it seems like all of Trump's fall guys end up in prison except for him. Or either they end up going broke, or whatever, and Trump's like the only one that hasn't seen the inside of that prison yet. But everybody else is, who's been in his circles has got caught up because of his nonsense or his illegalities or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I don't think nothing was made up. I think he's guilty of sin, and he's being called out for it. He got to stand up and get go to court now.
What about the notion?
I feel about it.
Yeah, but what about the notion that he never even slept with Stormy Daniels to begin with? He still denies that anything ever happened between them. You think that it's possible that she's lying about this whole affair just to get paid?
Tim, can you say that with a straight face again?
I just did. I'll laugh later, but I just did.
Okay. I'll never believe that Trump never slept with Stormy Daniels.
Well,
Trump was a playboy. He bragged about being a playboy. So I definitely believe it. Stormy Daniels has been on the talk shows and other things, and she said what happened. So
so why would she? Then why would she write a letter saying she didn't do it? If she slept with the man, why, does this hurt her credibility because they have her in writing saying that they never slept together?
Okay, well, I didn't know about that letter, but I mean, people can be cajoled to do whatever. But I do believe Trump did the deal. I do believe he was dealing with it. Yeah.
Well, Trump has a beautiful wife at home. Why would he have to go do this? He got a beautiful wife at home. As you say, he's a playboy. He got access to whatever he wants, unlimited funds. Why would he have to go sleep with a porn star?
Trump has shown in the past, and the things that he said would give me the impression that Trump was a sex predator.
Wow.
I mean, Trump did say that he could, Trump. It came out of Trump's mouth when he said he had the Miss America pageant that he could just walk in the women's dressing room while they were dressing and have his way, basically. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's put enough stuff out there with his own words to give me the draw the picture that he was a sexual predator. That he could do this, he could grab the pee, he could do these different things. So why not?
The Curry.
I mean, he said that nobody, I'm just saying that came out of his mouth.
Yeah,
So I don't doubt that what he said that he could do and have his way with women, that he didn't do those things. I mean, the evidence is more on the fact that if a man is telling me that I can do that, then I'm going to believe that he's saying exactly what he can do. That's the truth.
So what about the notion? What about the notion that what he was talking about was a private, the whole grab him by the private conversation between him and a trusted associate on a bus, just locker room talk that was only meant to stay private, never meant to be public, and he was just joshing, just joking around.
Okay, I don't think there was joshing. I don't think it was joshing. I think he was actually saying what he could do because he was. He said the way he was saying it that he was the pageant. It's that power dynamic there, where hey, I can, and I think he was telling what exactly was happening. Now he may have been bragging, but I believe that he was bragging on what he actually had already done and could do and knew that he could do because he had that power dynamic to be able to do that. And the opportunity was there. The opportunity was there. He did have those pageants. He described, they're beautiful women. I can go in. I can have my way. I can do such and such. So I believe exactly what he was saying was on point.
So what he
could do.
So to get clarity,
he had that type of position.
So to get clarity, you believe the former president of the United States is potentially a sexual predator. Did I hear that right?
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Like I said, he bragged about it. He boasted about it. I believe him. It's just, I believe him.
I got a lot of folks, Dakari, a lot of folks that female MAGA. Where's all my female Republicans? There's a lot of females that's going to support Trump. If he's a sexual predator, why do you think that is?
I really don't know. I've scratched my head on that because, you know, when that thing came out on Cosby, there were a lot of females that ran to Cosby's defense and didn't. You know, they said, well, give them the benefit and all those things. But there were other women that came about and said, you know, this is what has happened. And there have been other women that have come out about Trump, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, however the women want to do it is, you know, that's on them. But, like I said, Cosby was the same way. People came to his defense. There were women that came to his defense. But in the final run of the things, the facts hit the fan. You know, I think the facts is coming out.
Now, I'm listening to you talk, and in the comments, Joseph Malone states, how are you determining if someone else was telling a joke or not? I want your skills of knowing. In other words, you might be selling us wolf tickets. Maybe Trump was telling the truth. Do you believe what you're saying, though? Suggesting that he's a potential predator of women or whatever the case may be. Do you believe that alone should disqualify him from being president again?
No, not alone, but the other things that Trump has done, it's like, okay, me personally, I wouldn't vote for him based on that, because the fact if my sister or daughter or mother or niece or anybody was in one of those pageants, I wouldn't take lightly that the guy, because he's the director of the pageant, could just come in his dressing room. So no, he would definitely be off my list. Now, whether some other people want to vote for him, you know, that's on them. But that's not the only things that you know, this would make me shun away from, you know, a person like Trump. But definitely, I wouldn't vote for him. Because,
now,
you know,
I get your feelings. I get your feelings on the sexual prowess that you believe Trump has. But do you see Biden as running the country better than Trump?
I give Biden a B+. I give Biden a B+. And the reason why, you know, Biden has a lot of stuff to do, and he had a lot of stuff to deal with after coming out of what I see that Trump bungling. You know, because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Trump bungled the pandemic. So there was a lot of things that were negative coming out of. So
what grade would, if you're giving Biden
has to come back and sit.
Yeah, if you're giving Biden a B as in boy, a B+ grade, what grade would you give Trump?
Oh, I gave Trump an F.
Really? An F? No. Why so low? Why so low?
I gave him an F.
What did he do?
I gave him an F. Why so low? Because I thought Trump played games with a very serious situation. He didn't take it serious. It cost people, as far as I'm concerned, it cost people lives. And then also, you know, after the election, the stuff that he did in terms of the Jan 6, you know, as far as I'm concerned, him and his cronies orchestrated that, as far as I'm concerned, the January 6th day. You know, remember Trump wanted them to remove the magnetometers. He said it was all right that they can remove those magnetometers.
I have heard that.
You know, for people coming, for people coming in that he knew and he called them together. You know, so it's just so many he has so many lists of negative things, and then the way he speaks. He speaks to gin up violence or violence that's there with people. You know, he doesn't come across as a person to me, that's presidential. You know, who was the other guy that was you on earlier with Country?
Yeah.
And Country was talking about the flag thing.
Yeah.
You know, Trump didn't handle that right. If Trump really wanted to be presidential, he would have said, well, let me hear what your grievance is. Or, you know, let me... Do you remember that guy when Obama first came into office? Was somebody
Joe the Plumber.
Had some kind of grievance?
Joe the Plumber.
Yeah. And Obama said, well, let's sit down. To me, that was an adult way to act or act presidential, and said, well, let's see what this person... Because the president's supposed to represent all of us. So let's see what's on this guy's mind. Let me hear your story. Trump took an immediate adversarial position. You know, he didn't say, what's the grievance here or anything. It was totally, and then he turned what they were having a grievance about. He takes it because he knew he had the bully pulpit and turns it into something about the flag and disrespecting the military, which it had nothing to do with. It had nothing to do with that. The guys had a grievance, and so to me, that's the way an adult should handle things. And if you got a grievance, we sit down and we talk about things. Not the president shouldn't become straight out and be adversarial and stuff like that. That's the way I see. So that's why I give him an F.
All right. Well, I think you explained your position in detail, Dakari. I do appreciate you coming on. You know the door is always open to you, man. Thank you.
All right, my brother.
Anytime. Looking in the comments, I guess he don't know our government, says Raptor. Elaborate on that. But I do appreciate the comparison he made in regards to Obama with the Joe the Plumber thing, where Obama was not adversarial like that. I think Joe Biden had a Joe the Plumber moment like that, and he really went off on the guy. I forgot what he said was bullshit or something. Like Joe Biden took an adversarial position to a guy directly to his face as well. There was a guy criticizing Biden. I don't know where he was at. Was he out somewhere? Was it a town hall or whatever? But Biden was really, really adversarial to the guy. So he makes a good point about Obama not being adversarial to Joe the Plumber. But Obama did it more than once. There were some police officers. I don't know if it was the Ferguson thing or whatever, but Obama took a position against a police officer. I can't remember the actual story, but he took a position against a police officer, and the guy was white, by the way. And Obama was wrong. And Obama invited the cop to the White House, and they had a beer together or something like that. Obama did concede that point. I can't remember the actual details of the story, but Obama was on the wrong side of an anti-police issue, was found to be wrong, and he invited the cop to have a beer with him. That is not something that Trump would do, and probably not Biden either. So he makes a good point. He makes a good point about Obama with that. Looking in the comments, Chanel 123 says Trump never admits when he's wrong. I think we, for the most part, I think we would all agree with that. Tim, Trump will lie and say he did not sleep with Melania. He got a kid with the woman. What did he do? Artificially inseminate? You think he would say he didn't sleep with Melania? We have the highest inflation in 40 years. Food prices at an all-time high. They are making us a third world country, says Stardust Girl. Shout out once again to another one of my Republican females. Maybe female MAGA there. It's a lot of females. A lot of females supporting Trump. So you folks on the left that believe abortion is the know-all, end-all to a liberal victory. There's a lot of Republican women. But I will say the comments, there's, before we get into Stardust comment, by the way, tap the screen, get me on up to 60,000 on the backup page. We are on YouTube, or better yet on TikTok. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. You know how the program is ran. We are MAGA friendly, been that way from day one, always will be. We go left of Bernie Sanders till I'm having dinner with QAnon. So this is an uncensored format. It always is. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comment section or even yours truly. You got a different opinion than everybody else? Nobody gives a damn. It's all about free speech. We have the highest inflation in 40 years. That's global. That is global, unless we're going to suggest that Biden is responsible for the inflation of the entire planet. That is global. And in fact, I think the U.S. is out in front of everybody else. But you are correct. Inflation is at an all-time high. Now, you also say they're making us a third world nation or third world country. Here's the issue. You can point to what you don't favor about Joe Biden or even President Trump. Yeah, outlaw with the hat and mustache. Got your boy looking Hispanic. Thank you. I'm not a big fan of Armageddon politics. The idea that under President Biden we're turning into a third world nation is beyond ridiculous. I mean, we're all sitting here communicating on expensive devices, smartphones, tablets, third world. Where the hell are they doing this at in the third world countries? We're nowhere near. Look, you're paying 20, 30% more for fuel, damn it. That's about the most what we're talking about. It's nowhere near it. Have you been to a third world country to make a statement like that? Point out what flaws Biden has or Trump has, but let's not get to the point where it's getting ridiculous, because that's insane. We're nowhere near a third world nation. Going back to the box, we'll continue on with Miss Mo Better. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the program, Miss Mo Better. So what do you think? You think Biden's responsible for all these damn protests going all over the country?
Not directly.
Indirectly.
I would say indirectly, because he,
what is he doing wrong?
He can't. He's not really doing anything wrong. However, he's in a position where he can probably stop a lot of things that are happening.
How?
Not completely. He can intervene. Now, I would say intervene as far as like the things with Israel and Gaza, all of that stuff going on. He may can intervene to a certain extent. So I am not totally knowledgeable about how the foreign stuff goes. I'm not 100% knowledgeable on that. So this is why I say indirectly. I only go by certain things that I read as far as what Biden's position is as far as the ceasefires and different things like that. Because from what my understanding, he aids them, and with stuff with weapons and stuff like that. I don't think that would stop anything.
What do you think? You got an echo. You got something, Bluetooth or something on?
I do. Hold on. Let me.
Right.
But if I try to disconnect it, it's going to cut us off.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me. I'm still echoing.
Yeah.
Hold on.
We'll give her a second.
How about now?
Yeah, it's working. That's better. So,
okay.
What do you think someone like Trump might do that would be different than Biden to maybe to eradicate all of these, for the most part, violent protests in a lot of areas?
Well, Trump wouldn't. Trump probably incited more riots on our land than anybody as far as that goes. I mean, there was more domestic altercations and riots like Charlottesville and stuff going on than we've ever heard of. Wow. Besides the civil wars and different things like that. That was under Trump's watch. So he's out to see who can catch us the highest bidder. And that's for self-gain.
So you see Trump as potentially selling out whatever for his own benefit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He gonna see where he could put up another hotel, which bank that'll lend him some kind of money. Damn. Or something in one of those countries. Come on, check his resume. Don't take my word for it. Check his resume.
You don't have a very high opinion of President Trump. Folks believe it Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he talks out of both sides of his face because he's in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, he's a sociopath.
Whoa.
He likes himself. He doesn't even care about the people that care about him.
But ain't nothing wrong with what's wrong with liking yourself? Hell, this morning I was liking myself. I mean, what's wrong with that?
No, I like myself too. But I'm not out here crooking anybody for myself to put myself, to set myself above. And that's what he does. He sidewinds when anything that goes against what he does, when people call him out on his wrongs or whatever, then he to be bad people. You know how many conspiracies that have been created since Trump has came into office? Even like this rabbit hole or anything. I've never heard of any of that stuff until Trump got into office. And that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah. I gotta somewhat agree with that. I've heard some pretty wild things after Trump got in office. But
and it's not to say that a lot of stuff is not happening as far as like the children being abducted and different things like that. We've been seeing children on milk cartons for years. Since back in the day, in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah, I remember
I remember it.
Remember
They used to have commercials about it.
Yeah, remember the phrase, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your children are?
Absolutely. Me and you the same age. I'll be 51 in June. So I we were around in that era.
But let me ask you this, because this is in direct relations to you yourself. It's a strong statement, but I'll let you take it any way you want. You know I don't believe in censorship. On YouTube.
No, I'm not married.
No, it ain't one of those kind of statements. Tom S. on YouTube says, laugh out loud, angry black lady on the phone. Are you an angry black woman, Miss Mobetta?
No, I'm an educated black woman and make time for bullshit. That's not being angry. And this is where we get confused at. A lot of people get confused. They call somebody who's passionate and is knowledgeable angry because, again, it's not stepping down to his level. Okay. See, he must have that white that he can go sit down and shut up. You talk when I tell you to talk.
Wow.
That's the type of woman he's used to. And I make time for stuff like that. No, I'm not angry at all. I have nothing to be angry about. I'm probably one of the happiest people they'll ever meet.
All right, fair enough. I see in the comments, what is y'all says privileged white man comment. So I just wanted to, I believe in letting the people speak. So you get critical, you get complimentary. It comes from both sides.
You absolutely do. You're fair about this. You ain't blocking nobody. There's plenty of people that you should have blocked and you don't. You know what I'm saying? So come on now. There's plenty of people that you should have blocked and didn't. But I'm not angry. Why should I be angry? Trump is who's angry. That's who's angry. He's mad because you know what it is? He's gotten away with so much stuff for so long because of the position he put himself in and the money that he had. You already know how the system works here, especially in this country. I can't speak for no other one. And money supersedes a lot of things here.
But you said in the money that he had. I hear something that sounds past tense in there.
He broke. He's not my broke. He ain't my broke, but he ain't got as much as he used to have.
Well, yeah.
He has people thinking that he does. You know what I'm saying? Because that, again, it makes him feel empowered because I have this amount of money. That's how he's been living his life. So he has to continue that. Other than that, it's gonna dumb him down. It's in his opinion, it's gonna dumb him down. I have to make these people think that I am one of the richest men in the world. I have the power. I can do and say what I want to do. And that's how he's been living.
Yeah, but what about the fact that people believe he was running this country significantly better than Biden? The economy, the job numbers, no global conflicts, the price at the pump. Folks believe that he was doing a stellar job compared to what we have now.
People, you know what? When it comes to what people believe, quote unquote, believe, there you got just as many people that believe the opposite. He has spoken enough to where he was like the Pied Piper, so to speak. I'm gonna speak loud enough to make these people believe. And this is where all the conspiracies fell in at. So what happens is people need to start researching things for themselves and almost have exercise common sense, which has not been so common lately. Well, common sense is almost went out the window.
Well, do they really need to research if they're going to the grocery store and they cannot afford groceries now, but they remember when they could under Trump? Is any research necessary to see that?
Well, absolutely not common sense. Listen, price gouging, we know when it came to that pandemic, and this is, in my opinion, his biggest fail. You allowed this pandemic to run wild. People were using that as an excuse everywhere. Companies, I've lost. You had people claiming unemployment where, talking about they worked X amount. They was making more on unemployment than when they had a job or whatever. Again, Trump allowed all of that stuff to come in. If he had to just follow the playbook, I don't think it would have been as bad. And not to mention all the lives that were lost. I lost 5 members in my family alone from the pandemic. From that thing that he said came from Wuhan. So that stuff right there, that's one of the biggest mistakes, in my opinion, that he's really made.
But you don't blame Trump for the deaths of your family members, do you?
No, I blame him for allowing it to get so rampant when he had the playbook in his hand. This is where he was non-presidential. He should have pulled rank and like, listen, all right, let's shut this down. He's only into shutting things down when it doesn't benefit him.
But if you say he should have pulled rank and he should have shut things down, you sure you would not have been calling him a narcissist if he done that? You sure you would have been okay with it?
It would have saved a lot more people. It would have saved a lot more people. Again, just because I don't vote for Trump or whatever doesn't mean I'm 100% on board with what Biden does either. Because he, again, like you said, with this border thing, he should have, again, I just like to use the word pull rank a long time ago with the border. Listen, shut that down. We got to shut this down until we get things in order.
Yeah. So you do admit, so you do believe that Biden is failing at the border?
Oh, yeah. He dropped the ball on the border. Okay. He did. He dropped the ball on the border. He did.
But that's not enough to make you perhaps look at Trump, who would be probably more secure at the border?
Absolutely not, because that's not my biggest gripe. At this point right now, I really have no gripes. My paycheck is fine, my health insurance is fine, my health is fine, all of that stuff is good. So the main things, my taxes, none of that stuff, I'm not starving under Biden. And nor is anything that I have costing me more. So where people fail to realize that who really runs this country is the Federal Reserve. Now, what happens is the banks and, different stuff like that, when people start putting their money in the banks and stuff like that and the interest rates, those are the people that are actually getting over. It ain't even really the government. Okay. Not just the government, I'm going to say.
Now, when you say your finances are not affected significantly, I'm going to throw something out here. You might take it the wrong way, but I'm going to give you the comment straight as I see it.
If you give it to me right, I'm going to take it right. That's all.
I like a woman that says that anytime. But here is the comment. You made my day with that shit. But here is the comment. Robert from Michigan on YouTube says, she gets SSI, not a paycheck.
So he thought. He's another one his mother should have learned to swallow. Next.
You throw it back for real, don't you?
I do.
All right. You held your own today, as always. Good talking to you, Miss Mobetta.
Absolutely, anytime.
Got me smiling from ear to ear. Talk to you. Appreciate it. Wow. You throwing it back. Oh, my God. Okay. By the way, folks, tap the screen and uncensored program. That is the format we run here. You're going to hear comments you disagree with. You're going to hear comments you favor. That's how lack of censorship works. Program is MAGA friendly, though. Maybe you don't think so at some of my callers, but we do believe in allowing everyone to speak. Clinton Walston in the comments, notice she never said she had a job or what her job is. She also never said she was receiving SSI, welfare, or any government assistance either. So if you're making an assumption, why not assume the person works? She didn't say either. If you're not affected, you're not living, says Joseph Salazar. I disagree. I'll tell you this. We know Biden favors the belief that climate change is real, favors alternative energy and electric cars. You think Elon Musk is hurting under Biden? Or you think he was doing just as well under Trump? I would tell you right off the bat, with the Biden administration in there being pro-alternative energy for vehicles, he's doing better. There's a lot of folks that are not doing worse under Biden than Trump. Depends on what industry you're in. Depends on what you do for a living. The idea that everybody is suffering under Biden is not true. But I do agree there are plenty of people who are. But fact is, the increase in gas prices and things like that, it's not hurting everybody. And also, many folks believe it's price gouging. They don't believe it's Biden that's doing it. My guess is, and I could be wrong, and I'm sure my beloved MAGA will tell me so, and I encourage you to do so if you think I'm wrong, but my guess is if Trump got reelected, the price gouging would continue. The prices would not come down. He would just be holding rallies blaming those who are gouging. But it wouldn't change. Just like, for instance, right now, Trump is running a campaign suggesting that under Biden, crime is outrageous in this country. Well, when he was in office, crime was outrageous. He was just blaming it on liberal mayors being soft on crime and liberal governors and things like that. But crime didn't go down. He just blamed a different entity. Right now, when Biden is in office, it's the president's fault. When he was in office, it was the mayor and the some of the things where Trump may be able to do better than Biden, that exists. But I think in some cases, it's wolf tickets. I don't think the president, for instance, and Trump is running on this, he can't bring down crime in inner cities. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the judicial power. The executive power doesn't exist for him to do that. But he is running a campaign on bringing crime down. He can't do that. There's no way he can do it. Looking in the comments, though, that sounds like somebody that's a narcissist. Yikes. Joe made it so crime reporting is no longer mandatory, so it looks like crime is going down. Could be. I don't disagree that they play games and fudge the numbers just like COVID. Places were fudging the numbers on COVID deaths. I don't believe that Joe Biden is an angel. I believe what you said could be true. I'd have to see the proof of it, the evidence of it. But I'm certainly not one to believe that what you stated is impossible. He could be doing that. Going back to the box, and I don't believe that Trump would be above doing that either. I think he would do the same thing. I think they both might do something, I won't say fraudulent, but I think they both would be capable of doing something like that. Nat Jr., good afternoon, Nat. Welcome to the program. We're asking that question. Do you think Biden is responsible for these protests taking place all over the country? Nat, what say you?
First of all, man, giving our glory to God, man. I appreciate your show. I've been watching you.
Real quick, you got a loud background. Do you have a window down or something?
Oh, no, I'm in a truck, driving in a truck.
We'll try to make it work. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Real quick, I ain't gonna be on here long. My whole opinion on Biden and Trump, man, we say the lesser two evils, but one thing about it is people don't listen. I was always taught to listen to what people say, to the words they speak.
Give me some examples.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. How in the hell everybody in the United States, all the law enforcement is against this man? He got all these charges. If some of them kind of bullshit, yeah, I would say, but out of everything, how y'all gonna sit here? How is Malcolm gonna sit here and say this man is totally innocent?
Well, I'll start off by saying they're not saying Trump is totally innocent. What they're saying is he's getting charged for things that other folks would get a pass. Like Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank is going around saying that what Letitia James did to Trump, many other business folks have been allowed to get away with. So it's not that he's innocent, it's that he's being railroaded. He's being overly charged is what they're saying.
Okay, well, welcome to the black experience then.
That's why he is saying that because of what's happening to him, it should resonate with black people and make more blacks vote for him.
No. My whole thing is, man, I'm neither Democrat or Republican. I kind of listen to a person speak and hope for the best in a sense, because I kind of value some of the ideology on both sides, But my thing is, you cannot sit here and tell me that I work in the oil field, okay? I made last year, because I took vacation, my son was sick a lot or whatever, I made $94,000 last year. And I just went about 2 gallons of milk for $5 at Walmart. I understand some people, okay, let me say this, cut and dry. If you're not making it in your household, adjust what you're doing.
So
I'm 54 years old, man. They've been talking about this border since I was a kid. Neither side wants to fix the border. It's easy to fix the border, in my opinion.
How? What would you do?
Well, me personally, I would get on Mexico Mexico ass by cartels. I mean, that is if you look at it, that is a threat to our national security. So why we're not at war over there with them kicking ass? Because it's no money to be made from that. They're making their money under the table. Iran Contra. Remember that?
Yeah. So you believe both Trump and Biden dropped the ball on the border?
Yeah. They all gonna drop the ball on the border, man. I mean, I heard you was telling Mo Better that you, I guess, 51. So you grew up in the same era I did. They've been talking about this border shit, man, since we were kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's something, and that's what I'm saying. When is American people going to quit falling for the okie doke, especially on that situation? Nah, as far as what Biden done and Trump done, I honestly, under Trump I made money, under Obama I made money, under Clinton I made money, under Bush I made money, because I adjusted what I needed to do as far as my household. With you know, you cannot get these MAGA folks to believe that inflation is a global thing. They think it's the president. I work in the oil and gas industry. The president has no. I mean, I'm from Texas, man, and I'm from East Texas, right outside Dallas.
Okay.
That's like all Mecca, you know, Kilgore, Longview, and all that. So, you know, besides Odessa and West Texas. So I done worked in Louisiana. I done worked in West Texas. I done worked in Oklahoma. My thing is, we as a people, man, you know, this man didn't do nothing. I feel like, in my opinion, people can say what they want to say. Trump didn't do nothing but cause division. They say Obama caused division. No, Obama didn't cause division. Y'all was just mad because y'all didn't want a black man running your country.
So you think
Trump
it's wait? You think it's racism?
I don't think it's racism.
You just described racism. You just said because of black men, and you're describing racism.
Oh well, yeah. As far as Obama, oh yeah. I remember one particular news. I forget what news affiliation was interviewing people. They had a young white kid said that he was out there protesting or whatever they was doing at the time when Obama's first term. He said he didn't want a black man running this country. That's racist right there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but let me ask you this: in terms of pushing back, if a black person voted for Obama simply to participate in electing the first black president, meaning the only reason they're voting for him, or the primary reason they're voting for him is because he's black, is that not racist as well?
I don't feel like it was. I mean, you're supposed to support your own. We never had a black president. Why not? You know what I mean?
So if a black person, wait a minute, hold on, let me
say this.
Go ahead.
Say this. So all the white presidents that came before him, would you consider that racism?
Yeah, but I'm trying to make sure we see it on both sides if it exists. I'm saying that if I'm black and I say we've never had a black president, or I believe a black president should finally be running this country, and I vote for Obama strictly because he's black, am I being racist?
I don't think so.
Am I being bigoted? Am I being prejudiced?
No. I mean, to me, that's just like you going and you prefer black cars, and I prefer red cars. You know what I mean?
So what if a white person says, I'm voting for Trump because I think a white man should run the country? Is that racist?
No, it's not racist.
Okay.
I don't think it's racist. I mean, that's the way you feel. That don't mean, listen, I'm in an interracial marriage, man.
Shout out to you.
My wife has seen things that she never had to pay attention to before, if that makes sense.
Since being with you.
Right, exactly.
In Texas.
Yes, exactly. and like I say, I'm like 40 minutes from Shreveport, Louisiana. So, but she was born and raised in California. But like I say, she's seen things that she never had to pay attention to before. And we talk, you know, the way I raised my kids, man, like I said, I was able to see my great-grandmother, which was born in 1800s. I was able to be around my grandmother, which was born in 1927. So the history that was taught to me, not now time, Because I used to ask him as a youngster, do y'all, would y'all care who I married, this, that, and that? They didn't care. You know what I mean? And the way I raise my kids is to love who you want to love. All this racist shit, man, I have people call me a nigga. I'm not going to respond to something that I'm not.
Yeah, but what about the notion? But what about the notion that Trump had the hip hop community favoring him, everybody from Oprah to Al Sharpton, even suggesting he did more for black people than anybody, which is one of his own phrases. How do you respond to that? Was Trump not favorable to the black community?
I followed Trump in the 80s, and I did cut for him. I mean, we all want to be the big dog when you're young, have money, have the pretty women, this, that, and the other. But like Mo Better said, Trump do things for Trump.
Don't we all?
He gonna well, yeah, in a sense, but he's gonna shake hands with Mike Tyson and people like that because they was on his platform. They was fighting at his casino.
Right.
You know what I mean? I need the pictures, this, that, and the other. But I think what it is, man, Trump knew he can get it. To me, he ain't nothing but a con man. He got in office. I can do what I want to do. I can make all this money, and nobody can't tell me shit. And that's his attitude. But I'm gonna get off here in just a second, real quick. My thing is, you cannot deny what Biden has done now. Like I say, if people are not making it in their household, go get a better job. Go get a trade. You know what I mean? These women out here driving these trucks, man, making this paper.
Yeah, but they didn't have to make these adjustments under Trump. They were fine where they were. They didn't have to cut back and do all the things you're suggesting.
No, they would.
That's what they saying. That's what they're saying.
No, they would. No, they wouldn't. They still stand in that broke down ass trailer they was standing in before Trump got in office and after he got out of office.
I gotta go.
Like I say, I've been in Louisiana a lot, and I see the flags that's being flown, and all they doing nothing, man.
All right, your signal's breaking up.
This is one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move it on. Your signal was breaking up towards the end, but we certainly heard the content of your conversation. Thanks for coming through, by the way. He disagrees. He disagrees that folks are doing so well under Trump. I get a lot of folks that would tell you, swear up and down, there's no way in hell they're doing better under Biden than Trump. But there is a caller that says otherwise, says he's doing very well under Biden. I get some folks in the comment section that says they're doing better under Biden. Yours truly, I have improved financially under Biden. But I don't think it has anything to do with Biden. I don't think I was suffering or benefiting at all from Trump either. Some people, it doesn't affect like that. Trump defended Tyson when it was unpopular to do so, says Ray S. You're saying he defended Trump? I mean, you're saying Trump defended Tyson when he had been convicted of rape? Why would he do that? I wonder, why would Trump defend somebody charged with being a sexual predator on women? I don't know. That's interesting. I did not know that. Trump defended Tyson when it was unpopular to do so, says Ray S. By the way, thank you, Ray, for the super chat. CEO types are fixing the prices. Landon C64. Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I think that everybody realizes, at least to some degree, that all of the inflation is not 100% organic. It's not all organic. Some of it is being done deliberately. People are cashing in because they can cash in. It's not all organic. I do believe that. And I don't know if Trump getting reelected could change it. Not in a country where we favor small government and less oversight. According to Trump, if he gets elected, he believes the federal government should be relaxing their powers. So could he really stop price gouging when he is saying he want to get rid of three-letter organizations and folks that might be responsible for doing so? I don't know how he could do that. Looking in the comments, Bert Mac 33 says America first. You know, I have to ask, what does that even mean? I don't get it. I've been curious from day one because in this country we're capitalists and we tend to believe you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps and don't ask for handouts. It should be take care of your damn self. That sounds more like the statement I'm hearing. I don't see how you're putting Americans above everybody else. We don't want to do for Americans either. We want to keep all of our money. I don't want any of my money to go to the government, to go to taxes, to go to, school lunch programs. I don't want my money to go to any damn thing. How is that taking care of Americans? Even the programs that would overwhelmingly help Americans. We're not talking about immigrants or Ukrainians or Israelis or any of those folks. Forgiving tuition loans. 99% of the people that would be helped by that is Americans. Same thing when Obama tried to pass universal health care, or Obamacare as they call it, or the Affordable Care Act, whatever name you want to call it. The overwhelming majority of people that benefit from that are Americans. Did you see the amount of resistance he got to that? So I don't know quite what America first means, because every program that helps out Americans, there's a ton of resistance to it. Hell, people don't even want to help out working Americans. You can't even propose to raise the minimum wage without people bitching about it. It might make my damn sandwich cost too fucking much. So where's the stomach for helping out Americans? I don't hear it. I just don't hear it. But maybe you see something different. You know what it means, says Edward. No, I don't. I want to know where the Americans are that's bragging that they were helped out. Even during the Trump administration, folks favor his economy, inflation, and things like that. But nobody's bragging about what he was giving them or doing for them. I was able to get a job and earn good money. That came from your employer. That didn't come from Trump. So I don't hear the actual testimony of folks, Americans, saying people are doing something for me. America first. I'm not hearing it. I just gave you a whole bunch of different programs, whole bunch of different ways to help out Americans that people were resistant to. Like I said, even when you talk about holidays, folks don't, you're giving an American a damn day off work. We did a program on the Juneteenth holiday, commemorating the emancipation of slavery. It's a holiday. Every damn worker in America gets to celebrate the damn holiday. It ain't just for black people. You get to stay your ass home too, no matter what race or ethnicity you are. And people were opposed to it. That gives Americans another day to spend with their families and not have to go slave for the man. And the amount of resistance to Juneteenth was off the chain. It's insane. I don't see the America first. I just don't see it. Somebody open my damn eyes and help enlighten me. Going back to the box, we'll keep it moving with roadless mindset. Hunter Biden made laptops too expensive. No, cute, but not true. Roadless mindset. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing good. So we were talking about all these protests taking place all over the country at the elite universities and colleges. Do you think Biden, to some degree, is at fault for this?
Well, I'm not really sure. I think that in some cases he is, just for the fact that people aren't going to agree with him supporting Israel. And I'm not sure, in all honesty, my how can I say, I'm not really educated on what the protests are actually trying to get.
Yeah. Well, the gist of it is they believe the Israelis are killing innocent people, and they don't want their schools to have any ties to the nation at all. They obviously want the United States to back off assisting Israel at all together. They don't want their school to even back any corporation that has ties to Israel. They want a complete separation, you know, damn near a demonization of Israel.
Well, I guess, yeah, because of the fact that Biden is kind of helping Israel because we originally had how can I say, with them in a way.
Yeah. Do you think it might be better if Trump was in office? Maybe he would not be as friendly with Israel?
No, I don't think it would be better with Trump in office. I think Trump would just kind of instigate more hate.
How so?
And he would probably start trying to ban American Israelis and trying to send them back. And so therefore creating a motion of hate towards Israelis or Palestinians here, just kind of igniting the fire. And it's kind of like what he did with Mexico and Muslims and stuff like that. He kind of ignited the fire by saying, oh, okay, they're poisoning the blood of our system and stuff. They're just kind of making it worse for us. So then we attack our Americans that have that kind of heritage in their background.
But Trump moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Israel. To Jerusalem, which is what the Israelis wanted. Trump seemed to be very much pro-Israel, pro-Netanyahu. I don't know. You think he would demonize American Israelis?
I think so. I think Trump is for Trump. And if it is in his best interest to demonize Israelis, they're demonized.
So when you say, Trump is for Trump, how do you respond to folks who say they did better under Trump? Because now here's Red Beard, and by the way, thank you, Red Beard on YouTube for the super chat, says, I make more money under Biden, but it's a natural process. My money is worth less under Biden, and the way presidents work have everything to do with that. Do you believe Biden has made it so your money has less value than it did under Trump?
I think that people aren't kind of seeing the difference. They might say, oh, I had low gas prices, but the grocery store right next to you didn't have all the equipment that you wanted. So you had to drive double the distance to find a grocery store that had the products that you wanted. So then you could buy, and then you had to come back. So you were actually wasting more gas trying to get to that place. But they're just looking, oh, it's the gas prices, but you're actually spending more gas, more time and stuff like that to get what you need. So
what you're basically saying is under Trump, the supply chain was worse. So even though things may have been cheaper, you couldn't get everything.
Exactly. The grocery stores were empty. You couldn't find paper towels. You couldn't find toilet paper. I think they're forgetting all that part.
Do you fault Trump for the supply chain issues during his watch?
Well, I can't really fault him for the supply chain issues because he's not in charge of that. He's in charge of the nation. In all honesty, I can't fault him for that. But in his administration, that's what was going on. I don't see that problem here in Texas, to where I can go to the grocery store just a few blocks from me and find what I need, and I don't see a whole row of empty like shelves and stuff, and I can find my toilet paper, I can find my just necessities and stuff.
So let me ask you, how do you think Trump handled the pandemic? You're talking about supply chain issues and things like that took place during that period. Do you think he handled the pandemic properly?
No, I don't.
What did he do wrong?
I think that his racist nature,
Oh,
he felt like a black president couldn't do enough. So when he came in, he took out our pandemic team. He took out everything that Obama tried to do good for this country. He took out, and one of them was the pandemic team. If he had that pandemic team in place, then I believe that it would have probably hit us a little bit softer, because of the fact that I think there was the swine flu or something that went on during
Obama. Yeah. Ebola.
and his pandemic team did a great job. We didn't really have any Ebola up here in America or anything like that. But then Trump couldn't take it that a black president had such a great policy or.
So
like,
you genuinely believe Trump views black people, I guess, to be less than, or you're saying he couldn't believe a black president could do this. You believe he truly is racist?
Yes.
Based on what?
Based on, in 1973, he was being sued for
The apartments.
not renting to the black.
What
not
else?
renting to black people in the apartment, and he fought that for the DOJ. He fought that for 3 years.
Wow.
In order not to do it, but he ended up losing. But it's still fighting for, I'm not renting to lower class black people. No, I'm not doing it. But finally, when they made him, of course he's going to say, okay, I'll do it. But that's after they made him. And then when Obama got president, he was all, oh no, he's not from America. He's from
Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah.
He's from there. He's not a real American and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like those little hateful, little rhetoric that he always did. And then when he went into office, we got to get rid of Obamacare. We got to call it Trump care. And he didn't even have a viable replacement for it.
Wow. So what about, I got to bring up what inevitably will come up in this conversation. Red Beard leads the charge on this. Permanently funding of HBCUs. Wow. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate those feathers. What about the suggestion that Trump did quite a bit for historically black colleges and universities? I mean, that's a good thing for blacks, right?
It appears to be.
Yeah.
But like anything, I would just have to look at the fine print on it. I don't know what actually. I'm not educated in that part.
Yeah.
Of the. I'm not going to try to bullshit you and say, oh yeah, well it is or it isn't and all that.
But have you seen any other instances that you believe might suggest Trump is intolerant or racist towards blacks?
Just those kind of instances that I mentioned, where he's just kind of knocked down our previous president Obama and had the deal with the DOJ.
But the DOJ statement you mentioned, you did admit it was from 1973. That's 20 plus years before Joe Biden and the crime bill. So is it possible that maybe he was racist back in the early 70s, sitting around watching an episode of The Jeffersons, but maybe it's changed his mind? Maybe he likes blacks now? Is it possible?
Well, that's kind of like saying that an old man that's racist against Irish people hasn't changed or something like that. It's just, to me, the older you get, the stronger the racism gets.
Okay.
In all honesty, I've seen to where when I see an old person, he's going to be racist against somebody.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, but that's kind of like the case in a way. It's not necessarily towards blacks or something. It might be like racist towards the Irish or racist towards the Jewish or something like that. But it's just, if their racism was inbred way back then, I don't think that it's gotten any softer, especially when he's knocking our black president and stuff like that.
Yeah. And a lot of folks do feel the way he treated Obama was the way you're mentioning. But I just wanted to run it by you, see what your response was. I do got to move it on no roll list. Thank you for coming through.
Okay. You have a great day, Tim.
Same. Come on back anytime. And I will say, now in response to his comment, well, if you were racist back then, you're certainly going to be now as an old man. I don't know if I totally agree with that, because I do believe that likely was Joe Biden back in the day. I believe that Joe Biden, based on what I'm seeing, and I know a hell of a lot of folks, particularly my beloved MAGA, is going to think I'm full of shit on this. You can state it in the comments, but I do believe that Joe Biden is trying to amend for things he did in the past. He's appointing and giving black people damn near everything. He's about to potentially give a black woman a presidency. Biden is certainly trying to amend for something. Now, I'm not trying to say that the guy was racist in the past, but it is very likely. But there's damn sure no way in hell he's coming across as doing things that are racist now. It does not fit. It looked like this dude is trying to amend for every sin he possibly committed back in the day, maybe going above and beyond with it. So we'll talk about it. But in regards to an old man, if you're racist back in the day, you're certainly going to be. I don't agree with that. How many of you seen the Clint Eastwood Gran Torino? You know, where he was, a Vietnam, I think he would have been a Korean War vet or something like that. And he was racist as hell towards Asians until he started hanging around the neighbors that were Asian, and it came out of him. At the end of the movie, he gave his life to defend. It can happen. It certainly can happen that as you get older, you realize the error of your ways. You don't always become set in your ways. Now, being candid, my own grandfather died being racist towards the Japanese. Died in 1999, may he rest his soul, pretty close to the guy. He fought in World War II. He was drafted into World War II. And he never forgave the Japanese. He died hating the Japanese. And here's the issue, though, with that, because I see somebody in the comments says war. Most people can totally understand if you are intolerant towards a group of people because of a war or because of something that is, very traumatic. Like if you went over and fought in Fallujah and you've come home with PTSD and you have an issue with Iraqis, a lot of Americans could totally understand that. A lot of Americans could probably totally understand the plight of my grandfather or someone coming home from Vietnam, which is why I never could understand why folks expect the likes of Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton to be kumbaya. I've said it before, Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton potentially could be racist. They have seen the worst of white people. Jesse Jackson was standing next to Martin Luther King when he got shot in the head. So the idea that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton should not be racist, these guys have attended funerals, hangings, lynchings, been locked up in every damn thing. They've seen more atrocities committed by white folks than my grandfather seen committed by Japanese. So it would not surprise me if these folks see racism in every damn thing, because most of their early adult life, white people were pretty damn horrible and they were attending the worst of it. They literally went and sought out the worst atrocities that have been committed. Kids being killed and those. So, they have to die off. I can't expect somebody who's been through what Jackson or Sharpton has went through to just be totally forgiven. I don't think I'd do it. I don't think you would do it. And I think if you're saying you would, you're being disingenuous. They have seen the worst of white America. Look at in the comments though. Ray S. Thank you. Biden was fighting mixing races in school. Biden was against basically what do you call it when you're going against segregated schools? Integrating is the word I'm looking for. You're saying that Biden was fighting against integration in the 1970s. That wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, a lot of these folks are, as folks call Trump narcissists. My guess is Biden in the 70s would have been just entering Congress, probably was fighting to keep his career going too. It wasn't popular to be against segregation. It wasn't popular. Wouldn't surprise me if Biden was in on that shit, which is why I state that it does appear as if Biden is trying to make up for his past. Now, we talk about Trump with HBCUs. I don't see Trump as trying to do that, though, because like my guest mentioned, whether it's the not renting the African Americans, the Central Park Five, or some of these other things, he hasn't apologized for any of that stuff. Biden is damn near apologizing for shit he didn't do. Biden, if a black person says you're wrong for that, hey, I'm sorry. Biden, I do believe, is trying to make up for things that he might not even be guilty of. Trump ain't trying to make up for it. Trump is like, look, if you don't like this, it is what it is. I'm here to run the country. I don't give a damn about your feelings. Looking in the comments, left changes view, they've grown. Right changes view, hypocrite. I don't know about that. I don't see Trump as going from I identify as a Democrat to now running as a Republican. I don't see it as hypocritical. He changed the view. It ain't that he's grown. He don't like the Democratic Party anymore. And when you factor in how much money Trump has, to me, it makes sense. If you are wealthy and you don't believe the government should be able to force you to share your money, you don't favor taxes, you want to keep all your money to yourself, and you don't really want to be, required to share, you should vote Republican. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if you got money and you want to keep it and you don't want to have to do for anybody else unless, occasionally you feel like doing it, you should vote Republican. They are far more in favor of that. So it makes sense that he might switch to be Republican. Gen Xer says you might want to Google Cohen TikTok videos. Am I in one? Let me know that, Gen Xer, because I did interview Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, for about, I think, almost a half hour. And I asked him as tough of questions as I could think of off the top of my head about his credibility, about him trying to hide the payment to Stormy Daniels from his own wife and how that would make him look in court. I asked him everything I could. So you're saying, because I would love to see that interview. Michael Cohen is the only one that has the recording of that. I would love to get that. And I don't think I would be able to ask Michael Cohen to give it to me. So let me know if that's on there. Tim, I love this freaking show. Thank you. Red Beard, I appreciate the generosity in the super chats, by the way, as well. But appreciate all of you folks who are here. This is an uncensored program, by the way. I'll go back to the box, but we don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. We go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with QAnon. So understand you're going to hear opinions that you might favor and others you might think are outrageous. Everyone gets to speak Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central is when we are here. By the way, tap the screen for my TikTokers. We might be able to get to 100,000. We still got almost 650 of you in here. Tap the screen, show the program some support. Smash that like button on YouTube. If this is what you favor, feel free to subscribe to the channel on YouTube and follow on TikTok. Going back to the box, we'll keep it moving with Patriot since 1984. Love the name. That would be the second term of Ronald Reagan. Patriot since 1984. That's exactly 40 years of patriotism. We'll see if the box brings them up while we're waiting on the box to make that decision. Looking in the comments, Trump goofy con being used by the right. The real crime, that guy is speeding his ass off. The real crime is stealing and using us for the wealthy. Just for laugh, you got to explain that. Trump goofy con being used by the right. I don't think Trump allows himself to be used by anybody. I think he's better at doing it. But let me know what I'm missing. Elaborate on your comment. The box is not bringing up Patriot. We'll give it a second. I have something to say. How can I get on here? Well, for my TikTok users at the bottom of the screen there, you should be able to click on the icon of two people, and it'll put in your request. And yours truly, I'll be happy to bring you up. And I see the comments. Outlaw Josie Wells, certainly a friend of the program. He's MAGA, suggesting that I'm bringing up Democratic callers. You guys know I bring up MAGA right off the bat. I just, unfortunately, that haven't had as many callers representing the right. But we don't have an issue with that. We don't have an issue with that at all. Going back to the box, the one and only Clinton Walston. There's MAGA. So these protests going on all over the country. Is Biden responsible, at least in part, in your opinion, Clinton?
Well, he is commander-in-chief, isn't he?
Yeah. So you're saying that Trump was responsible for the Black Lives Matter protests then?
That was on them because these people were paying for their college education. Remember? They wanted to pass a bill. Biden wanted to pass a bill, pay for their college education. And they're out there hollering death to America? What the hell is that about? Come on.
Wait a minute. How do you say that Biden is responsible for the protests? Explain that again.
Well, what I'm saying is he tried to pass a bill and the highest court in the land shot him down not once but twice about he wouldn't college forgiveness. And these people out here on visas in our country hollering death to America? I mean, what kind of shit? We don't need that shit in our country. Come on, dude.
I think you're tying some things in that are not relevant to what's going on. The protests that are happening, those are not immigrants protesting. Those are college students. Those are Americans.
Well, some of them's on visas, yeah. I mean, the thing about it is they're over from other countries. I mean, if they're American, why the hell they hollering death to America? If they don't like our country, get the hell out. Well, I see it.
But the ones that are here on visas are here legally. They would be here even if Trump was president.
Okay, look at it this way. If we went to China and we hollered death to China, what the hell would they do? They'd hang us from the gallows. If we went to Canada and hollered death to Canada, they'd take action.
Yeah.
Under the Biden administration, we're the only dumb sumbitches not enough to take heed of the shit when they're sitting there hollering death to America.
So
I mean, they get away with that shit in New York, Chicago, and big cities. It's just like Jason Aldean said, try that shit in a small town, brother. It won't wash.
So let me ask you this then. If Trump was president and I went to a protest and I'm hollering death to America, how would it be different?
Say that again, you cut out just a little. I'm sorry.
If Trump was in the White House and I attended a protest and I'm yelling death to America, how would it be different? What would happen?
Well, I love you, Tim, but you can get your ass out.
You can't throw out an American citizen.
Why can't you?
It violates the Constitution to begin with. I mean, do I not have the First Amendment freedom of speech rights?
Why, Trump don't. He can't talk about shit, gag order, remember?
That's all Trump does is talk about shit. That's why he has a gag order.
I mean, but it's protected under the Second Amendment. That judge is not above that piece of paper sitting up there that's been wrote 200 and some odd years ago.
Yeah, but you do
He's
understand.
cutting his freedom of speech, yeah?
So you're saying that Trump should be able to say whatever he wants about the jury and all of them?
I mean, it's all protected under the freedom of speech. If they can holler death to Americans under the freedom of speech and nothing happens, why can't Trump?
Well, hollering death to America is not targeting someone specifically. That's just a statement, no different than yelling, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist outfit. I mean, that doesn't have any significant weight to it. Trump is talking about specific people.
Yeah, but I mean, okay,
them protesters are talking about America. They're talking about all of America. So, I mean, it's one. I mean, we're going to have potatoes here, by God. I mean, look at it. You know, if somebody come up to me and said death to America, they're probably going to get their ass whooped real bad. Like, now, I'm not talking about Medicine Cabinet hurt. We're talking about damn intensive care, if not worse.
Damn. All right, fair enough. But you do understand you have a right to say that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what it's protected on the freedom of speech, and that's what I can't understand. I mean, ever since all these Democrats and stuff's been going after Trump in court. Only after he started running for presidency the second round, nobody sees that shit. They want him to hush his mouth, can't campaign because he's always stuck in court. I mean, like I told you, brother, you know how I feel about it. That's election interference. And by the way, I was wanting to say one other thing.
Sure.
You know, my name is Clinton. My first name's Clinton. Okay? The thing about it is, my first name may be Clinton. I think about changing my title to Clinton, no cigar required.
I get it. The reference to Monica Lewinsky. I certainly get it.
Well,
So,
at least I give you a good laugh today.
all right,
Yeah.
fair enough. Well, a lot of folks believe Clinton ran the country better than Trump, though.
I mean, I'm being honest with you, brother, just straight up. I mean, all but damn the cigar incident, I really didn't see, that bad of shit. I mean, I like Clinton better than I like Bush.
You're going to
Yeah,
bring
you're
up
finger.
you're going to bring up the cigar incident when Trump paid off a porn star while his wife was at home pregnant or just gave birth.
Yeah, but she's done put I mean, okay, look at it this way. She's had it stuck in every damn orifice she's got for money.
Melania?
Look at it that way.
Melania?
No, I'm talking about that damn porn star, the one that damn taking him to court and shit over that bullshit.
Okay, but don't you think Trump knew she had it stuck in every orifice and he still decided to go in it himself? He also went into her orifices.
Yeah, but you know what it says? Innocent until proven guilty. I mean, she done wrote Stormy Daniels done wrote this damn thing out in 2016 saying that her and Trump never had nothing going on, didn't have anything going or anything.
So let me
I can't
ask
go back
you,
and change your story.
do you believe Trump when he said he never slept with her?
I mean, I wasn't there. You wasn't there. Nobody was there.
No.
Them two and God.
I agree no one was there, but we can speculate. You weren't there when the 2020 election was held. You got opinions on that. You weren't around those machines. So what do you think? Do you think, just if you had to guess, do you think he's telling the truth in regards to never sleeping with Stormy?
I do. I mean, I absolutely do, because the thing about it is, if he paid her hush money and he turned around, and I mean, he wasn't president at the time, but you know, he was, I guess you'd say, a public figure, because they're well known.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, look at President Kennedy. Look at President Kennedy. Look at Clinton. I mean, look at all that shit. I mean, Clinton lied about it.
Yeah.
I never touched that woman. We had never had sex relations. Bullshit, you didn't put that damn cigar, did you?
You and that cigar. So you believe that Stormy Daniels was paid to not say something that didn't happen happened. In other words, he never had sex with her. They just decided to give her $150,000 to say you never had sex with me.
Well, you know, there's people framing people all the time. They could have said, hey, if you don't pay me $150,000, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that. Like I say, we wasn't there. We don't know.
Okay.
I'm not saying he did or didn't have sex with a woman, but what's any different? A man going out here grabbing a prostitute and paying her $150 to throw down like a drunk monkey and not going to court over it. Politicians do it all the time.
But he is the president, Clinton. You don't hold him to a higher regard than a regular person on the street?
I'm going to hold him to the same regard as they did Bill Clinton when he did it.
And
That's fair enough.
they actually impeached Bill Clinton for lying about it.
They actually impeached him.
Yeah. So they held him to a pretty high standard.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's proven guilty, hey, go for it. But I mean, everything they've got on Trump so far has been, to me, been trumped up bullshit election interference. I mean, hell, why is it? I mean, you got to think. But everybody says, "Oh, he wants to be a dictator." He said he'd be a dictator one day to get all these illegals and all these other people out of the country. One damn day, okay? One damn day versus damn 3 years and 364 more days. That puts America first.
Let me interrupt you. In the comments, Tammy Green says, I sent you a link to Cohen's TikTok. Is that a link of me interviewing Cohen? Let me know in the comment because I really would like to see that. But so at the end of the day, how do you feel, Clinton, about so many folks suggesting that Trump is intolerant or outright racist? Where do you think that's coming from?
I don't think he's racist. I mean, way before he ever went to the election part, way before he ever, was even thought about being a damn politician. Back when Oprah Winfrey even, interviewed him, and he said, "No, I don't think I'll ever be, run for presidency." I guess he changed his mind. A man has the right to change his mind. But here's the thing: he was on the Oprah Winfrey show. He dealt with Mike Tyson. He was with what's his name? Civil rights, Martin Luther King,
Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton. Yeah, Al Sharpton. He was with him. I told you, I hope you look it up. He was dancing on Soul Train back in the damn 80s. If he was racist.
No, he was not. Trump ain't never been on Soul Train.
I swear to God, dude, he's got a mullet.
You watch
Soul Train.
You watch Soul Train. You watching Don Cornelius, huh?
Hell yeah, I watched Soul Train back today.
Trump ain't never been on Soul Train. Oh my God.
I swear to God, if you Google Trump on Soul Train, it'll pull it up. He's got a gray suit on, and he's busting a move right down the damn aisle.
No. Was he wearing a triangular shaped hat or something? Trump ain't been on Soul Train.
I swear to God, dude, I promise you, I'm going to send you a message tomorrow. And if I can pull the video up, I'll send it to you. He's busting a move on Soul Train. He's cutting the rug right down there, him and his mullet. Back when Trump had the mullet, that was the shit, dude.
Well, Skeeter on YouTube said that's edited. That's actually fake news. He said it was edited that way. I'd have a hard time believing that.
NBC or anything else?
Huh?
Did he say it come off NBC? MSNBC?
No, I
ain't never seen it edited.
Well,
it's on YouTube.
I'd have to see that. I'd be very shocked to hear Trump was on Soul Train. That doesn't sound like.
I swear to God, look it up, brother. Look it up. Donald Trump on Soul Train back in the 80s.
Okay.
Busting the move with a gray suit on. I'm colorblind. Hell, it could be blue, but I'm saying it's gray. Anyway.
How do you respond to folks? How do you respond to folks like Bill Maher that continue showing pictures of Trump when he's dancing, saying it looks like he's jagging off two people at once?
I guess that was the moves back in.
Jagging off two dudes at once? Unless you're Dirk Diggler. I don't know about that one.
I don't know, brother, but hell, it's better than sniffing two little girls at one time.
Ooh, you hitting below the belt, Clinton. All right, I'll leave it at that.
That's one place Monica went, below the belt.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm going to change my name. Clinton, no cigar required, brother.
You win, Clinton. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Brother. You have a blessed day. Thank you, brother.
Feeling is mutual. Thank you. Clinton is always welcome on the program. There you go. That's MAGA. Real good talk with him. Looking in the comments, it doesn't matter if Trump was on Soul Train. Being on Soul Train doesn't make you either immoral or moral. No, but it shows that you're not adverse to hanging around a bunch of black people. But I don't believe Trump was on Soul Train. I don't believe that. Dancing to black music, he's out there dancing Earth, Wind, and Fire and shit like that. No way I believe that. If Cohen gets discredited as a witness because of your TikTok interview, I'm going to die laughing. Thanks for helping out Trump, Tim. Fox News. Now you got me really wanting to get off of this shit and look this up. You guys are telling me my interview was out there with Michael Cohen because Fox News, being favorable to Trump, brought up that Michael Cohen is making money from his TikTok interviews or his TikTok live stream. Just like what I'm doing, Michael Cohen, many of you know, he does his own program and he takes, callers and things like that. But you know me, I don't believe in censorship. So I'm going to let you ask whatever the hell you want to ask. When I got on Michael Cohen's program, most of the folks viewing his program are favorable to Michael Cohen. You're fighting a good fight. Get Trump, take him down. He's wrong for this country. I didn't do that. I'm going to ask you what people want to know. So, I was invited spur of the moment, but I always have a few questions I can ask you right after, and I dealt them what I had to deal them, and they weren't favorable. So I was wondering, was Fox News going to bring me up? Because I asked Michael Cohen himself, I'm like, you sure you can be answering this shit? I was kind of like Kid Rock with Trump with the documents. You sure I should be seeing this shit? So he did tell me, you're no tougher than Congress. He answered the question. So shout out to Michael Cohen. Hope I didn't ruin the case. Gen Xer on YouTube, thanks for the super chat. Gen X is saying that I may have helped out MAGA by ruining Michael Cohen's credibility. The world can't fall on my shoulders. Please don't tell me, folks. I may have to go into hiding. Get a lot of guests who tell me all the time, do you live out of your damn car? Well, if this shit go the wrong way, the answer will be, hell yeah, I do. And don't tell nobody you saw me. Going back to the box. Please tell me I didn't ruin Michael Cohen's credibility on the stand. Yikes. Lee Ann Jarrett, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. MAGA has your back, brother. I like that. Sounds like something Hulk Hogan would say. Got your back, brother. Hulkamaniacs, MAGA maniacs, get their hands on you. Lee Ann, good afternoon.
Hi. Hey, I'm so glad to be on here. I've listened to you a lot.
Wow.
I really enjoy
It's an honor.
your
Thank you.
program.
Thank you.
Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about things regarding Trump, the polls, the fact that it's showing that Trump is, beating Biden in the polls, and I'm just shocked.
That's gotten much more narrow, though. There are polls that show Biden is actually passing Trump now. It's gotten close.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things going on. I think that that just aren't being reported.
Like what?
I think more things should be reported. One in particular is the Steele dossier. Do you remember what happened with that? Where Trump claimed it was fake news, and he sued Michael Steele.
So what's coming? What news came out of that?
And he lost, and Trump is the one that had to pay.
Okay.
I mean, that kind of thing, you would think that would be reported by the right-wing media, but they don't. And every MAGA folks, all the MAGA people, they don't watch anything but Fox News and ON. And so they kind of just stay in their little echo chamber. They don't know all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I do agree that if you support Trump and you watch right-wing media, they're not going to report much that's negative on Trump, because Trump will go on social media, tear up their damn network and cost them all their viewers. So they don't have any incentive to report anything but positive or neutral news on Trump. So you're right. Which is why I watch both sides, because the left does it a little bit too, but certainly with Trump being so bombastic and having enough power to take down your network, the right ain't gonna report anything negative on Trump.
Yeah, you would think that they would have covered the fact that he was suing suing him in the first place, and I don't think they even covered that much. They must have known it wasn't going to turn out well. I mean, I don't know. And then there's the all the testimony from the trial that's coming on. They keep talking about this trial as just a witch hunt, and they aren't really paying attention to the contents of the transcripts that are coming out and the things that are coming out about what Trump was doing.
Yeah, they did the same thing with the January 6th trial as well. Because I watch a lot of Fox, but I know when there is important information being discussed and they're not covering it. The January 6th trial was just like that. In fact, when they raided Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago, I was watching the 5 news program on Fox, the 5, to see what they were going to open. On the first segment, with the president, the former president having a warrant served at his house, that should be everywhere. They gave it like 6 seconds of coverage and went on to something that was about Hunter Biden. So they don't discuss negative information about Trump unless they can show where it is bullshit or, it doesn't look right.
Yeah, well, based on that testimony, it literally, Trump was manufacturing fake news purposely.
Wow.
And he's also the one that continues to talk about everything else as fake news. So it's just so ironic. And
Well,
the fact
speaking of fake news, I was watching Cuomo on News Nation actually this morning, watching the repeat, and it appears that Fox News is facing another lawsuit from none other than Hunter Biden. Speaking of that, because they were putting intimate photos of him on Fox Nation, and he has Mark Geragos as an attorney from the, I believe, the O.J. Simpson fame. And they actually are suing Fox News because, once again, it's a story where they're making Hunter Biden out to be something that's not true. And Mark Geragos did get them to take some of the stuff down. But if Fox News, which is my favorite news network over the last 20 years, I've kind of really eased up on watching them because they're no longer, we report, you decide, or fair and balanced. They are in the camp for a Republican victory. They don't give a damn. They're no more reliable than MSNBC or anybody else at this point.
Well, yeah, they had, okay, so Trump had in 2015, 14, and 16, he had David Pecker and American Media in his pocket. So they were churning out fake news to help Trump and different things for the election. And then you had Rubart having meetings with Barr at one point.
Yep.
And then you had Hannity and come into the White House having dinner with Trump.
Yeah.
And
well, Hannity, speaking of Sean Hannity, Hannity actually got on stage at a couple of Trump rallies and spoke to the crowd. So we know that is not unbiased. But then again, Sean Hannity, we never expected him to be an unbiased journalist. He's kind of like Rachel Maddow. You know,
right.
Yeah,
well,
you know
he's. Can you imagine if Rachel Maddow, if Biden invited her, like, on a regular basis to go dine with him at the White House, or had her on speed dial, which is what Trump did for Hannity.
Yeah, they would say something about it, but they don't have a right to, because just like Jesse Waters was on Air Force One, Kimberly Guilfoyle is married into the damn family. So,
well, yeah, he has so much. If Nixon had half the coverage and help on the media that Trump has, Nixon probably would have stayed in office.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really crazy.
I think Mike Huckabee, when he was running for president, said the same thing. He said that if I had all of the free coverage of Trump, I could easily win. I mean, because at the time, everybody, like now, everybody's putting Trump on television when he comes out of court. That's free airtime.
I just think the right-wing media is literally radicalizing their base, and the people that watch it are willingly. They're willing. They've also been told, and they believe, not to watch anything because everything else is fake news.
Yeah,
it's just what they're saying is true.
But how do you respond to folks who say that under Trump, the country was being ran better, cheaper gas, less inflation. We didn't have World War III on the cusp. People believe that the country was better ran under Trump.
Well, it actually wasn't, if you consider that just 2 months into Trump's presidency, he was already taking credit for the unemployment rate, which at the point was like 3.8 or 3.9. It was like 3.9 and in March of 2017 or something. And it had been, 4 point.
Well, he got it down to 3.5.
He was already taking credit, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, he got it down to
credit right away. When people with a working brain know that it takes longer than 3 months to get shit going.
Yeah.
You don't just walk in there, waltz in there, go, I did it. That's what he was doing. He was taking credit for everything Obama did. He didn't even pass any legislation his first year in office until December 2017, and it was a tax cut for the rich.
Wow.
Where the middle class, it wasn't permanent.
No, it was the tax cut.
Theirs was permanent.
Yeah, the tax cut for the upper bracket is permanent, and it wasn't indefinite for the lower.
So tell me how that one piece of legislation was able to do everything, why the economy was working so well, when he didn't pass anything other than that piece of legislation his first year in office. See, that's why anybody who thinks that Trump did this, he skated on Obama's economic success. And then the first time he had a crisis as a president, the first time he flatly failed.
So in regards to Trump 2024, can I put you down as a maybe?
Excuse me? Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said in regards to Trump 2024, can I put you down as a maybe?
No, you cannot.
All right, Leanne, I appreciate it. This is our first time, so absolutely a pleasure. Always, anytime, come on back through.
You too. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So not a maybe for Leanne, not a maybe. He cut regulations that were causing businesses to shut down, says Jay Gordon. Trump did promise for every three-letter organization he created, he was going to get rid of 2. However, there was a significant tragedy in Palestine, Ohio, that many blame on Trump's reduced regulations, to the point where you could drive a train full of hazardous materials with only 2 engineers, because the former regulations that required you have more people on board to maintain the safety and integrity of that vehicle no longer existed. So the reduction in regulations is not favorable to everybody. I mean, you're riding around with a train that's a mile long and is loaded with hazardous shit, and you only got 2 people on this thing? So depends on how you look at it. Nope, the regulations had nothing to do with that train. Fake news, says Jay Helen. Well, I'm just telling you how some folks feel. You obviously have a different opinion. Why was Trump's fault for East Palestine? Well, if his regulations made it so that, what was it, Norfolk Southern, what was the name of the train? I can't remember the company of the train, but if reducing regulations allowed that railroad to operate that vehicle with less engineers and less checks and balances, then he would be partially responsible for it. If you used to have, like let's say, for instance, you don't require a co-pilot. You can fly a commercial airline, but no longer it's required to have a co-pilot. Well, if the pilot gets sick and the whole damn plane crash, they're going to blame you. Because without your reduction in regulation, the co-pilot would have took over and landed the plane as normal. So you reduce the regulation that 2 people are in the cockpit at all times. That's how folks are blaming him for what happened in East Palestine. Obama had almost 50 million people disqualified from the workforce based on their race alone. 40 million of them are still out of work. How do you disqualify somebody from the workforce due to their race? And why aren't there people of that race suing the hell out of the government under Obama? 40 million. Wait a minute. Obama had almost 50 million people disqualified from the workforce based on their race alone. There's only 350 million people in the country. So you're telling me Obama had 1/7 of the U.S. population. By the way, some of those people in the population are babies, toddlers, and folks who can't even work. 50 million of them, huh? Nope, that number ain't inflated at all, I'm sure. I'm sure that number is accurate as can be. Anyhow, folks, appreciate you tapping the screen. 102,000 likes. Appreciate that level of participation. You know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Y'all blame Obama for everything. Says, oh yeah, that's crazy. That one is crazy that Obama disqualified 50 million American employees when the country's only 350 million strong. And a hell of a lot of those people are babies, infants, elderly, retirees. There's not enough people in this country to disqualify 50 million of them. That number is incredibly overstated. Just by doing the math alone, you should be able to tell that. I think everybody out there should know somebody that was disqualified if that number was anywhere near correct. But appreciate the comments. You guys know how the program is ran Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central. That's when we're here. If you favor civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle, you're in the right place. Follow the program on TikTok, a subscription on YouTube, if you will. I will see you tomorrow. And on YouTube, thank you guys for your participation as well. What is your choice, Pakistan or Iran? Why do I have to choose between Pakistan and Iran? Neither one of those countries really makes my life any different between Pakistan and Iran. I don't watch Fox News, says Outlaw Josie Wells. Well, I do. Every news, I don't believe there's any news outlet that is 100% false or all of their news is fake. I don't believe that is true. I do believe some folks don't want you to watch a certain news network or this outlet or that place, and they tell you that, but every news outlet, most of the stuff they're reporting is true. Most of it is. But you guys may have a difference of opinion. See you tomorrow.